Well, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Oh, I fucked up mine. Dang it.
The timing seemed amazing, though.
The timing did seem good, but we'll see. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hello. I wanted to shout out already because somebody, JME, said, Kendrick, you did great on Up and Adam.
Oh, thank you. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was. Yes. I liked all the topics that he pulled. I'm so glad Southern Charm was boring because he didn't want to do a Southern Charm. I was like, oh, thank God, because I literally watched them only on Instagram. I do, I've never felt welcome over there in Southern Charm. So I was like, nope. But good. Okay. Thank you.
I think we got to just get right into it because we have so much to cover today.
Let's get into it.
Let's start us off like we did last week with Atlanta.
Okay. Ooh, it's a good episode. Ooh.
It's starting is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I'm fascinated by is the way that they're laying this out for us, because I would have what's happening now is we're speculating all week. We're like, Brit did threaten Kenya, and it wasn't. And it was also weird that they even kept it in. I think I'm glad that they kept it in, but I almost would have thought that they wouldn't have kept it in because they were trying to cover up whatever. Like, okay, what's ooh.
That's what I want to get your opinion. Okay, so I've been of two minds about this. On one side, I'm like, man, we really need some Kenya confessionals so we can see how this is really unfolding. But then when I talked through it the other day, I was like, wait a minute. Kenya has made it very clear that her relationship with Bravo has not been severed. She is still an employee of Bravo. Do we think they're laying the groundwork to maybe get rid of Brit next season and then being like, well, Kenya, let's go ahead and come on back? Because I think I said from the beginning, I thought just because of the fans, I don't think Bravo. Yeah, like
okay, wait. What you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you are saying is okay because it's kind of coincides with. I went on Gibson's podcast, Gabbing with Gib, and we kind of talked this out too. And at one point, I said, I know that lawyers had to have been involved in this whole thing to make the choices that they made, because they were looking at it like, okay, if we do this, it's this and whatever. And so I see what I'm going to take that and be like, so they were like, our hands are tied. We technically legally, we have to do it this way, but we're going to show the whole version so that we can get the feedback from the people.
Yes.
Okay, Kendrick.
And fans have made it very clear since episode 1. They're like, no. Since that trailer dropped and they dropped the promo pic and Kenya wasn't in it, they've been like, this new girl better be the absolute SHIT, unless if you're not giving us Kenya this season. And I think that they might be laying the groundwork because had it unfolded like this and you want us to like side with y'all that you made the right decision with not including Kenya, you would not have included any of that Brit stuff. But the fact that you included all of that and you've shown her, not just this episode, but every episode since, hyper fixating on Kenya the whole time, I feel like they painting a little narrative here. It's a little narrative painting going on. I don't know.
Wow, that is astute of you.
Okay.
Because I had figured, I'm like, any decision they made had to have been combed through with a lawyer.
Yes.
Like the legal team at NBC or whatever got involved, and they had to go through like what was the technical right thing to do. Because now it makes sense why they left it in. Because they've been taking so much heat for deciding to pull Kenya out of the show. And so I was like, well, you would think they'd want to protect themselves and make themselves look like they didn't do something wrong, but okay.
Because tonight's going to be very telling.
Yes.
While I do think there are going to be some people, that are saying this wasn't the right way to do it. Don't respond. It wasn't. No,
it wasn't good. Like, but it's the choice that only Kenya was punished.
Yes, exactly.
Confusing, because when you see Brit doing that and saying I got pistols and whatever the hell else she says, you're like, wait a minute, but she was threatening too. So why weren't they both like equally punished?
Right. And you know what? You know how I think it's gonna unfold tonight? Not the Kenya part of it, because we know how that's going to unfold, child. But the Brit part of it. I almost guarantee you, they kept making a big deal about, oh, we're in Bankhead. It's not the best area. That's where the restaurant is. I think that somewhere during this conversation with her and Shamia and whoever tonight, she's going to be like, oh my God, I hope Kenya didn't think that. I was saying I had my pistol because it's such an unsafe neighborhood. I was waiting for my husband to come get me. No, I don't ever want her to think that. So no, I'll just show up and I'll apologize tonight. She's gonna write it off some way to make us think we're crazy for thinking that she was threatening Kenya with a gun.
Yeah, because she also specifically said in her little statement that she put out on social media when it all first came out, she was like, I never threatened her with a pistol or with a gun or whatever. And we're like, what? We are watching you do that. So okay, she's gonna put a twist and a spin on it.
A little twisty poo,
a little twisty and a spinny. Well, also this kind of relates to this. I know I had like a whole episode about it, almost a whole episode about it. Patrick McDonald is the producer who's decided to come out, and I still cannot understand how a gay man who is working at Bravo, a producer, is going to get punished for being on OnlyFans. When I know I said this, I'm a broken record because I talked about this on my show already, but in the gay community, Kendrick can attest, porn is like mainstream. It's really not like it's not taboo like it is in the straight world. So I just thought, what a weird thing to care about. Like, he's behind the camera. So one of the straights at NBC or something maybe, but I actually wouldn't even think it's even Bravo. I would wonder if it's the field team, the field production team that does these shows. Like that would be, those are the people that maybe had more of an issue with it. I wonder if even like the network didn't even know about that, because they're like, whatever, you guys just do it. But so he's come out, and the reason I'm bringing him up is because he worked on Atlanta, and in his videos, because he did a 2-parter exposing that they've iced him out, and then his biggest message is how he wants the crews to be treated better, and the producers to be treated better. But he said that hold on. Oh, thank you.
No, just making sure. Okay. Making sure.
Great point. It's not my right mic. Well done. Kendrick just sent me a text and said, maybe the right mic is on. How do I?
Oh my God. You sound like you're like live from the Apollo now. Okay, you just switched it?
Because I kept like moving it too, and it wasn't doing anything, was it?
No. Okay, now it sounds amazing. Okay, oh my God. Okay. We do this so often that I was like, wait a minute, hold on. It's a little different today.
We should have done a mic check. I should have done like, how do I sound, mic check, because we
normally do. Right. Which we normally do.
Thank you for that. Good looking out. Sorry guys for the audio up to this point. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Patrick. So he worked on one of the things in his video he talked about was one of the cast trips I did, I was in hand-to-hand combat with a housewife, and Face Reality 16, I'm sure a lot of you know that account, Eliza.
Hey girl.
She put something together and showed Portia's Family Matters, that fight. Well, he then shared that to his stories. So I'm assuming he's saying, yes, it was that fight. And you know how often we bring up that fight.
That show was a mess.
I actually broke that fight down because I got so obsessed with it. Like, I did like a whole post where I slow-moed it and like zoomed in and stuff. And at one point I see Portia fighting with someone, and I pointed to it and I was like, is this a boom mic? I don't think it was a wrought iron like coat rack.
Right. It was something like, I feel like they're on scene. Like, it felt like, that's exactly what it felt like. Either like a microphone stand or a coat rack, something with like a little bass to it that she had picked up, like ready to charge the world. Okay.
So he's been in the trenches. We stand with him, Patrick. I was supposed to chat with him last night, but we had to move it to tomorrow night for me because he's in Thailand.
Yes,
he's in Thailand for the month for his B-day. So I'm gonna because what I've followed him for a while. Like I knew he worked on these shows.
He was the one that had to get Tom Sandoval to come back to set after Ariana and all them were getting his ass good on their reunion. So yes.
Yeah, when he was demanding, he's like, I need a break. And he had to be like, okay, you can take a break. You just cannot talk to Raquel on the break. And he's like, no, that's what I want. Okay, guys. And he just had to like stand there and be like, sorry, just wait for your tantrum to finish. But anyway, so we stand with him, but he did work on Atlanta. And so I wonder how he feels about Portia, actually, is what I want to know.
I would like to ask him that.
I will be, because I've said a couple times, I know, on this pod and to you, like the producers on that had to have been so mad at her, because she then the next day, no one was talking about the thing that had just happened. And they were like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
It was like universal silence on the cast. Nobody was talking about it. And they're like, what's going on?
They're like, how are you guys not talking about what just happened? The fact that Portia really thought she could get away with that, like have a fight like that would, then they just don't talk about it and they can't use it or something. Like, what? Portia. No. Okay, back to this episode now. I want to point out, they make a point to keep this in too. Brit says a few times that she doesn't have a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah.
They really leave that in. She says it to Angela on their walk. And then she says it to her sister. And we'll get to that dinner with the sister in a second. But okay, so Angela and her sister are at odds. Also, Charles doesn't get along with her mom. It was a fight about cleaning up, which for some reason I love, because it's like that's such a fight you would get into, but like that is still going on. Like that fight stands.
I get it, because that to me that felt like his mom or her mom had probably been living there with them for a while, and that's the kind of fight you have when people have been doing stuff for so long, but the little shit starts to get under your skin. You like, you know what? I'm sick of this. Move the damn my bucket, and then you going to fool over the most random shit. Like I get that. I've been in that situation many a times. Okay, people overstay their welcome, and then you got to go off about the smallest thing. Who left the salt right here? You know, the smallest thing will set you off. So I get that. I get that.
Oh no, living with someone is so hard, and like I'm so particular too. So I know, like if someone leaves crumbs, I'm like, you couldn't dust that off and like clean that up. Okay,
right. Can use a coaster. Oh wow,
cool.
Wish I had that level of home training. Okay.
Home training. Home training. Okay. Portia meeting with her team to build her $1 billion empire was hysterical. She's doing comforters and duvets for Pampered by Portia. But apparently, this is the big story. Drew reached out to sit with one of Portia's team members, maybe because he's in music or something, because she wanted him to sit with her and Dennis to help promote the music they were working on.
What?
Obsessed though with Portia, pretending like she has a whole like corporate team for Go Naked.
I love it.
She's like, we have a human resources team. And they're like, AKA Portia. We have, yeah, that was good. So she's like, I'm gonna have to check with HR to see if we even can terminate Drew.
Right. He's like, do they have a number? She's like, yeah, hold on. My number is. Love it.
That was good. Well, speaking of Drew, though, this moment with Ralph and the kids, where Ralph's playing with the kids, and then Drew comes out. Wait a minute, I got excited. I even wrote down Kendrick got his flashback of Drew going.
You know, I rewound it.
That one.
I rewound it 3 times. I was like, yes, this is just for me right here. I
literally was like, that was just for Kendrick. That's it. He was so happy about it. But this was so odd, because we've just seen her at a lawyer's office talking about how awful it was, and now it feels like she's almost using talking points. Like, was she just acting? Because she was like, no, we're not fighting, we're getting along, we're doing great, we're cool,
right? But then double down on calling him a narcissist.
A narcissist.
Yeah. So I'm like, Drew and Ralph, I feel like they can't even keep up with Drew and Ralph, because he's like, you know, oh, well, it's your time, so I'm leaving. I'm like, where are you going? I thought you just had the basement. Like, what is happening?
But wait, I did not realize he was giving tours of said basement like it was MTV Cribs.
Embarrassing.
But
My
I
God.
could not believe, I'm like, there's a home theater in this. Like, okay, I guess it's not as bad, but it still is weird.
Yeah, it's weird that you think that people wanted a tour of it in the first place. So like, why are we going through? It's so like he is one of those people that no matter what, he is gonna want him a little sunshine, a little spotlight, a little bit of attention if he can get it. Like that man. Let me tell you something. I know people at first were like wondering, like, I wonder if Ralph will be on this season because like they can't supposedly film together and all. I'm like, oh girl, Ralph go find a way to be on this season. If he got to film with Candy and bring her back on the show, he gonna do something. Ralph will be on this season, baby. Don't you worry.
I was the same. I was like, in no way am I concerned. He wants to be on this show.
Yeah,
the way he came out, because you know how they always play like the season before when they're going to show like a new season, right? So I had just turned on Bravo to like leave it on so that when the premiere played, it was ready. And they played obviously the reunion from before, and that the way he sat on that couch, he was acting the way he was like, Drew, you're acting right now. I'm like, you're acting right now.
Right.
Oh, Ralph. I forget.
Y'all might have read lines together.
He makes me mad. Like that man, no one kind of gets under my skin like that type of attitude, that passive aggressive. Oh, I can't stand it. It's a peeve.
He's the man that no matter what, you can never tell him that he's wrong because he's always right. He's always the smartest person in the room. He's always the person that like, oh no, I'm telling you from experience. I know this and I know that. And it's like, you actually don't know shit. You don't know anything about what I'm trying to tell you. So like, how about you listen for a second?
Oh, he is such a know-it-all. That's so true.
He is. Everything about it. And that whole, I'm glad they played that therapy scene with him and Drew, because I always call back to that when he's like, I tried to give her a lobster dinner, but really she only deserved a Lunchable. And I'm like, you are such a weirdo, man. A weirdo. You're not ready for marriage either at all.
Oh my God, there's a huge spider on my wall.
Ah!
Oh my God. I need to like shoot it with a gun. I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm so scared. It's coming towards
me. And this is how the White Lotus finale starts tonight, everybody.
Exactly. It's looking at me. It's looking at me now. It's
oh my God. Emily, wait a minute. I will vamp if you need me to. Like, if you need to get it, because literally I'm afraid it's gonna jump. We don't know if those spiders jump or what.
Oh my God, it's doing something.
What is it doing?
Vamp. You vamp.
Okay,
you
vamp. Hi everyone. Let me go through the comments. Thank y'all that watched me on Up and Adam. I had such a good time. You'll see me on there again very, very soon, and we'll have another guest join us. Winky wink. It's gonna be a fun one. Let me see what y'all saying. Yep, Ralph in that basement. Surely. Wait a minute, Phoenix. This is a mess in the background. Phoenix talking about Raheem on Watch What Happens Live. Exactly. They don't have a problem with porn stars, apparently, because Andy invites them to the clubhouse all the time. Listen, some of my favorite conversations on my podcast. There you go. She got it, y'all. It's okay. Some of my favorite conversations on my podcast have been with porn stars about Bravo. Okay, so let's not pull it. They acting all brand new about porn. Let's not do that. Corn, maybe, child. I don't know. I don't know what we can and can't say on YouTube. Corn. I was saying corn, everyone. Corn. Cream. Oh my God! I go to a restaurant, y'all, that has an amazing corn brulee. It is the best thing in the world. It's like a cream corn, but they like burn the top like they would a creme brulee. Oh my God, it is so good. Okay, I'm just trying to tell y'all. So if y'all ever come to Memphis, I will tell y'all all about it. Amazing boots. Okay. Someone said, what corn star was it? On mine, it was Dom King. He's amazing. They say he's obsessed with Kyle Richards on Twitter, but he's everything. Okay. Hi, we're back. Okay.
That was a blast. Thank you.
No, it's not a dessert. It's a part of it's a side. It's so good. Okay, anyway.
What are we talking about? What's a side?
About food. Oh my God. I was telling them.
Of course you were talking about food.
Yes, you know me. I was making sure I said the word corn and not the other word. And then I was like, ooh, there's a restaurant here that does an amazing corn brulee. It's so good. It's like a cream corn in a skillet. but they burn the top of it. It's got like this sweetness on it. It's, oh my God, it almost could be a dessert, but it is so good.
Oh.
Now, nobody
And then
normal
do you
orders
eat it with
corn.
bread?
You can. Oh my God, it's amazing. They'll give you bread. You can just like get it out of because it's like a shareable size. So you can like get it out of scoop it out real good. Put it on your plate. It's got the little sugar crisped up on it. It's so good. Oh my God.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Amazing.
That was traumatizing because I sucked it up in the thing, and then by the time I got it over there, the spider was crawling on the outside of the vacuum. So I had to smack the vacuum. I might have broken the vacuum.
Oh no. Okay, but he's contained now.
I mean, I think he's dead. He better be dead.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I left the vacuum like open though, because I'm like, if he crawls out, I don't know. He might be coming for me later.
Kelly Williams. It's called Porch and Parlor. It's in Midtown. It's great. Okay.
Porch and Parlor. That's a great name.
I know, right?
That's a great name. Well, thank you for vamping. Thank you everybody for hanging in there. Otherwise, that thing I was going to be thinking about was it like once if I looked up and that spider was not where I thought it was, I would have been like, it's on me. It is on
you
me.
needed to handle that. I assume all insects can either jump or fly. So like no. We that needs to not happen. Like don't be over here. Go over there.
I know that I'm bigger than a spider. I get it. Like I shouldn't be scared, but I have a true
But you're not venomous.
Exactly.
You're not venomous.
Yeah. And I know we're supposed to like save spiders, but you know what? They don't. You have no business being inside.
Exactly.
Okay.
No one saved me. Okay.
Nope.
So
okay. Exactly. Okay. Focus. All right. Kelly goes to Kenya Moore hair care. I almost like I don't know if Kelly was super impressed. I think she was trying her best to be, but at one point, Kenya's like, "This is the shampoo area," and she was like, "Okay." I swear. I
can see it. Kelly's shady, but she's a good shady. I like her.
She's a good shady. Yeah.
Yeah.
She rolls with a bodyguard. And she's like, when Kenya kind of tries to give her a little shit for it, she's like, well, no, look, I have a restraining order against my ex, Mark. And he threatened her in court. They held him in contempt of court and he threatened to kill her in court. So he has a restraining order. He can't see the girls. Like that's bad. Like I did not realize how bad it was.
Can I just say though, you would think that if that happened in court like that, where you're threatening to like, unalive someone, exactly. Like I would think you'd have to do a little jail time or something. Like that's scary. And I would think that like it don't need to be no temporary restraining order. Like no, you've proven that you can't be trusted. You need to go over there, and then maybe one day we'll revisit this topic. But no, you can't be around us no time soon.
Right? Like if they see it happen, they should be like, well, okay, so this is proof right here that you know what I'm saying? Like that confused me too.
Doesn't it feel like a domestic violence, like true crime case you would listen to where like, the person forgives or something like that. And then that one time they come back and family annihilate or something like it's no.
And just like it's a thing too. Like in a situation where there is domestic violence, the most dangerous time is when they leave.
Exactly.
So you would think if it's like right in court, like I'm gonna, I would just imagine that would be like, okay, you're under arrest now. How about that or something? I don't know.
Right.
I guess because threats. I don't know. I don't know enough about law, but like that is awful for her. And he's doing he is threatening because I guess their businesses are together. So he's threatening to just sell everything and screw her. And Kenya goes, he's trying to color purple you. And then she says, well, I waiting to exhaled him. I was like, oh, that was quick. That was so
amazing.
Quick. Well done. But then a great scene. Kenya opens up about her fears with the salon and how she's put so much money into it. And it was so heartbreaking because I remember on that live where she didn't tell us anything, but was going to tell us something and whatever. She was talking about how she was like, people were booking appointments and then ghosting, not showing up, and people were leaving bad reviews, and people were like, her business was suffering because of what happened on what got leaked from Atlanta. So that made me sad because I'm like, oh, she's been really relying on this, and now hopefully it's doing better, but.
Right. I'm hoping it's like thriving and, striving and thriving, whatever the shit Ashley Darby says. I don't know. But it also is, I have to, I love me some Kenya Moore, but I also have to question why in the world you would use your grand opening to like do this whole thing?
Oh,
You do have that much money invested in it. If it is Brooklyn's college fund, if it's this and that, that's a wild choice to me. Like, I get it. Like, you were going to be center stage that episode for sure, but I don't know. This felt like it could have been like, Shamia's got a big house. It could have been in her backyard in the basement with just the cast or something. Like, we could have pivoted this.
I might be bigging this up. Didn't last season, wasn't there an event that it was like a Kenya's event or something that never made it to air? Wasn't she complaining about that?
I think so.
Wasn't there? It was like either a party for
opening or something.
Yeah, something like that. And she was posting photos from it. Like, see, we had this whole thing. And so I wonder if part of her was thinking, well, I want to make sure this gets in the show.
Oh boy.
Because that they say to do that, like make a moment happen so that they like cover it. And I wonder if like that added to her being like, oh, that's when I'll do whatever.
Reality TV 101. I get it. I get it.
Well, Brit has lunch with her sister Cher. And now I can't tell if Cher must have been running late, because when Brit walks in, she's like, wow, okay, well, take your time. Good, nice of you to show up or something. The only reason I say that is because by the end of this dinner, I did not like how Mike was calling her, and Brit was like, okay, Mike's calling me, I gotta go.
I literally kept looking around my room. I'm like, what is that vibrating? Like, what is that? Like, it was driving me crazy during that scene. And it was literally just him the whole time reaching out to her. I'm like, y'all could, I get it. Y'all were trying to drive a point home, but y'all could have cut that out or something, because it was literally driving me insane. I kept looking around my room like,
I hate when that happens.
I have a beeper in here? Like, what is it, 1992? What is happening in here right now?
The amount of times I think I hear something on the screen that I'm like, is that my phone?
Oh my god.
Is that my phone? I do it all the time.
You know what's the absolute worst is when a damn Amazon commercial comes on and they mention, I won't say her name because she's over here right now, but they say her name and she starts going crazy in the wall. I'm like, oh my god, here we go. Gosh, Miss Lexi Pooh, like, get out of here, Lexi. We're not talking to you right now.
That's so funny. I know exactly the commercial you're talking about. Too.
Yes. And it comes on way more for my liking. I'm like, okay, can we not? Like, can we just do something different now?
So true. So, okay, this conversation with Cher and Brit was like interesting, because Cher is saying you need to see your nephews, but Brit's like, no, that's ridiculous. It's only been a month, and that's like the longest it's ever been. And it's like, well, hold on. It sounds like two different versions of something. And so I'm not really buying, I'm more buying Cher's version. But then Cher says, I don't like how every time I have a conversation with you, Mike has to be right there. And that's odd, right? Because that mixed with then him calling and her being like, I gotta go, Mike's calling. I'm like, so he sounds rather controlling.
And we've seen this, I'm gonna bring up a comment too, but we saw this, I think it was Drew's first season where I think Drew had went to Portia's house. That's what it was. She went to her house. They had this whole, like, it was a hilarious scene too, but literally Ralph called her, I think 4 or 5 times during the scene. And finally, even Portia was like, girl, like, what's going on? And she's like, okay, I gotta go. He's really on one. He's calling me left and right. It feels like that. And now we've learned a whole lot more about Ralph too. So it's like, ugh. But also in the comments, Amit said, that's so right. She said, Brit and her sister were like Kiana and Greg. You dismiss me. And then his response, no, I don't do that. I don't dismiss you. I don't dismiss you. I don't do that at all. Actively in the moment dismissing her. And it's like, ugh, get out of here. I wonder what his dirty toe ass is up to.
Yeah, no, it was just and for her, and also for Brit, when she goes, well, that's my husband. I was like, oh, that's a weird, I don't know. The whole thing.
Very weird.
They must be purposely setting us up to think that was weird, because that was weird. Especially because Cher was like, when I'm having an emotional moment and I want to talk to my sister about how I'm anxious and feeling depressed, I don't want Mike sitting there. And Brit's like, okay, I mean, yeah, like we can do these sort of dinners and things sometimes. I don't know. Like, it just all rubbed me weird.
It did, because one thing is they're both like, it seems like Brit is actively trying to present Mike a way that he just isn't, because she's saying like, I don't want him there. I want to just talk to my sister, yada, yada, yada. But then Brit gets in her confessional and she's like, oh my God, you know, he's always been just the most supportive. He's like another brother to her, and he's so supportive, and you know, this and that. They have such a close relationship. And it's like,
yes,
that's not what she's saying. Like, maybe listen to her. She if they are close, she don't want to be that damn close anymore. So like, maybe listen to your sister so you can actually fix this relationship instead of pretending to fix it on camera.
exactly that. When she got to that confessional, it was like, oh, he's like a brother to her. I'm like, there you go. Since when?
Exactly.
Okay. Now we get, which I could not believe was happening, Drew and Dennis in the recording studio. And I'm like, oh, so Drew's just going for it. She's like, I don't fucking care. And Drew makes a joke about how she's in being in trouble these days. And Dennis is like, what do you mean? Like pretending he doesn't know what she's talking about, which is also ick. Ew, Dennis. Gross.
Right.
But then when Drew's confessional was wild to me here, she says that, number one, this quote doesn't even affect Portia, which is so bizarre. So bizarre. And then she says, oh, it's a closed door for me with Portia. Like, I tried. I'm done. I'm like, what the fuck is it? Drew, is this just for the show? Are you just trying to make sure you're entangled in a storyline or something?
Right. It was all weird because I felt like most of us were on the same side initially, where we were like, you know, I don't get, like, it felt like Portia was doing a lot at the time because we were like, I didn't get it. Then that next episode, she explained like she basically doesn't want Dennis to be able to come on here and like paint his own narrative and like talk with other women behind her back and like say all this like foul stuff or whatever. And I think we're all still kind of like, ooh, I don't know about that. I get it, but he should be able to tell the side of the story. But now we're actually seeing all of this happen and come to fruition. So it's like, ooh, Portia, okay, I think you clocked some tea. I get it now. And Drew, this kind of feels beyond foul a little bit because now she invited Ralph and his shirt without a blazer and his brooch to come and sit with her and go naked. You might feel a little ways.
Exactly. And Dennis gives himself away too, because Dennis goes, look, when we started doing this, Portia was in Nigeria eating fufu. I'm like, oh, so you were mad. Like it was spiteful then, is you're admitting that.
Now we'll say Dennis has made me laugh a couple of times this season. I've been like, oh, because he does give a little some good shade every now and then. I think he's been around Portia too long. Because
I was going to say
that eating fufu in Nigeria that did tickle me a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you that point, but don't do it no more.
Yeah, but no, I know he's like, it was like because he was bitter. Like he's been so bitter, and that's why he's like, yeah, I'll totally film with Drew. I know it'll piss off Portia.
I actually feel like. I don't know if it came from Simon or Portia or what, but I feel like they sat Dennis down and like tried to convince him to be more okay with that situation than he was. And so I think he fully still wanted Portia, still like had all these feelings. But then, you know, they were like, no, let's take this picture, the three of us, and we're gonna say, you know, you're so okay with it. And no, you're okay with this. No, you're all right with me and Simon being together. When really Dennis is like, look, both of y'all can go to hell. So I don't really care about it. It feels like he didn't really want to accept this, and I think we're seeing a lot more of that, and maybe that's what Portia was worried about. I don't know.
Well, Portia, it's been spoken about how like Portia's very careful about what she puts on camera. We see it obviously with her show, even Portia, you know, that like telling people don't talk about it on camera. And so now that Dennis is going to be filming with someone else, who knows what Dennis is going to say on that camera?
Exactly. We don't have a damn clue.
So this is what? Ooh, another comment.
But I she didn't even mean it like this. But Jasmine M said Drew is Delulu. Like Cynthia said, baby daddy's hit different, which is so true. But I want to say, I don't know if y'all have listened to it, but Drew's song Delulu is actually kind of a bop, and I was not ready. I was not ready to accept it as such, but have you? Because I feel like I scrolled Instagram.
Accept it as such.
I was not. I'm not giving Dennis credit for anything, but I've been scrolling through Instagram and I'll randomly hear. I'm like, oh, who is that? And it's Drew. I'm like, oh shit, like, oh, that's Drew. This that you must be delusional. Thinking that it's something like it's a really catchy hook. Yes, that's her. Really little catchy hook. I'm like, okay, wait, this kind of needs a little bit. Okay,
damn. Yeah, Kempire. reviewed it and was like, I did not expect it. I really didn't, but it's a great R&B album.
That's what people keep saying. So I'm like, okay, let me listen to Drew. Damn it.
I know. I think this was our sign. Like, all right, fine.
Yes. We'll double back to this when we get to the Shamia and Portia at the table listening to that song, because I haven't thought about that too.
We will be going to that now. So
okay.
Are you familiar with where Angela's event is being held?
It's in Bankhead. So people that's where T.I. is from. So just so y'all know. He raps about it all the time. Okay, that's where T.I. is from. Now, I know some of y'all will get confused. So for those that don't know Atlanta, there are many parts of Atlanta, but if you're thinking Buckhead is
that's what I was thinking of.
Very nice part of Atlanta. Okay, there's a very nice hotel there that I like to go to. Okay, it's a very nice one. Now, Bankhead, when you get out the car, you might need
we've heard of Buckhead before on the show, right? Because
yes.
Yeah, okay. Because I was like, I thought we liked Okay, thank you for that.
Buckhead is very nice. Bankhead, on the other hand, you go clutch your purse a little bit when you're getting out the car. Okay, you go speed walk a little bit, double step to get in go on in the restaurant. Okay, so but yeah, Bankhead, Buckhead, Bankhead, Buckhead, Buckhead, Bankhead. Yes.
Thank you for that, because I was confused.
Geography with Kendrick. There we go.
Do we believe that Kenya forgot or didn't see that it was an all black event, or are we positive? I personally want to go with she thought it said black chic attire. Like black tie.
I'm two ways, because on one hand, I'm like, this is such a Kenya Moore move.
Exactly.
And she looked amazing in that green dress.
Beautiful.
Too. Like body was tea. But then on the other hand, I was like, no, that's a Kenya Moore move. But then when they showed the invitation,
thank you,
I was like, ooh, I might have missed that too. I'm not gonna lie. I might have missed that. Like I might have showed up, and thankfully for me, I only wear black anyway, so I would have been okay. But I might have missed that little memo too.
Yeah, because I maybe black tie attire was how she took it.
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone else got it, obviously. So anyway, Shamia comes with a branch in a bottle of olive oil, which was clever. And she really was like, she was like, I wouldn't have invited me to this.
Yeah,
so I am gonna have to apologize to her, which I thought was really cool. I was like, well done, Shamia. Nice work.
It also shows you, because I've been open. I actually think Angela is probably my favorite addition this season. Okay. I really like Angela for some reason. Like she cracks me up. I mean, with the exception of Brit, I like all the new girls. Like I really do like all of them. Shamia, Kelly, but Angela is a special kind of hilarious to me for some reason. But I like the fact if this is another show, most likely they would have been like, well, I'm not inviting her. We're not on good terms, all like that. Angela's like, no, it ain't that deep. We shooting a show. She need to be there. Like, I'm going to invite her. And that's the kind of energy I like on reality TV. Let's not do the phasing out or the trying to push out like all that weird stuff. No, invite her. I don't mind her being there. Yeah. And we'll shoot some more shade at each other. It's okay.
And that's actually a really good, or just the way you said that made me realize, like, yeah, because they cast the show for a reason. And if there is conflict, they want to keep documenting the conflict. So by removing the conflict, it's like, well, why the hell did we cast the show then?
Exactly. Like, what are we doing?
Point.
Mostly, I feel like newbies are very good about that, though. They'll be like, you know what? It's okay. I'll invite her. It's those seasoned veterans that think they're way too big for their britches that tend to stop doing the inviting. And it's like, okay. Time to not reboot, but time to maybe get a couple new faces on here.
Yep, totally true. Kelly calls out Drew for not buying anything at the Balmain event. Now, here's my question. Drew shows as proof a text message to the sales associate, but I'm like, why were you even texting them to begin with?
Exactly, because you're left with nothing.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you, like, no one did everyone else text the sales associate who was right there before buying something?
Right.
That's Drew. That's Drew. Like, Drew always does stuff like that, but like it's getting Drew, we can't defend you anymore, girl. Like, that's not the move.
My sister done burned too many bridges and I can't help her no more.
For real. So then Shamia, though, plays her song. Portia is crazy for this. Are you on it? Are you even on it? I'm like, oh my God.
This is
Oh my
this is the
God.
part. This is the part where obviously she knows her voice way more than I ever would. So like you should know your best friend's voice. But when Shamia started playing it, I too said, "Is
Oh
it
my
Drew?"
God.
I literally, I was like, "Is it Drew? Who is it?" I'm like, "Oh, that's okay." But even after a while, it clicked for me. Like, "Oh no, that's Shamia. That is Shamia." Okay, I hear it now. But listen. One thing about Shamia and one thing about Drew. One thing about reality TV people, for some reason, when they get with producers and they try to put out a new song, why does it always sound like it's from the early 2000s? Like it never
Right?
sounds current. I don't know what it is, but
Right?
always the early 2000s, always that like Ja Rule, Ashanti era every
Yes.
time. Every time.
Yes. It's like they are stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's so true. That is
Yeah.
so funny. Thank you for putting that to words because that's exactly what it is.
That's what it sounds like. I'm just saying.
Okay. I forgot to mention that when Kenya came in, Brit said something about the pat. Oh, I just got the
Yes.
pat. And I'm like, okay, now you are just looking for something because she gave you, so what did you expect? A full warm she probably did that to everybody. Oh, I know, I see you, Kenya. You the pat. I'm like, all right, too far. This is too much. Like now it's just obvious you want. And I can also understand too that Kenya just probably rubs some people the wrong way. There's probably just that quality of Kenya that's like,
Yeah.
oh, you just pissed me off because there's something that's kind of like passive aggressive about her too. But like this is,
and they're new girls, right? They're new girls and they watched the show before, so they're probably coming in on edge already. So we get it.
But we've gone to like this pat thing is just
right. Like,
too much.
Calm down.
Too much. Brit pretends that she didn't write this question because they like submit questions for each other, but it's literally, it's Brit. Can you speak to Brit kindly and not with an attitude? She's like, I didn't write it. I'm like, okay, no, yes, you did. Who else wrote it, please? Unless, do you think someone else wrote it?
So there were a couple of questions submitted. I think the first one either came from Angela or Kelly, and then that next one came from Brit. Or whichever one Brit didn't have, I think didn't come from her. Oh no, yeah. The one that Brit didn't have came from her, and then the other one came from one of the other people that because she keeps talking about it to everybody, talking about it. So I'm sure somebody else was like, well, let me see if Kenya do hate this girl. Let me submit this question and find out.
But then Kenya knows she's trying to have a moment with her. She knows she is. She can tell because she's been on the show for so long. She's like, I see what you're doing. You're trying to have a moment. And then Kenya busts out one of her best lines. Peasants cannot come for a queen.
So write a passage on this show. You got to be called a peasant by Kenya at some point.
It's like, and that is so light too, on the scale of housewives reading. Like that is teeny tiny, and you're coming for her. Like Brit keeps like trying to antagonize Kenya to get her to come for her, and then like it's not working, so she's like, do you see her coming for me? They're like, no, literally we don't. You're coming for her, coming for you, but then you're coming for her because she's not coming for you. It's so you're doing this. And they could not find one good interview soundbite from any of the other women where they were like, I get why Brit is mad. Every interview soundbite was, I don't understand what's happening. She's taking it way too far. Like not one, they couldn't cut to one person saying they got it. And then we get the whole, and like, I'm sure everyone was feeling the same way. Like they never show us them leaving and taking off mics and doing all that. So as soon as we were getting that, I'm like, what are they about to show us? Like, what is going to be coming? And she is so mad that Kenya, because like Kenya wasn't even still talking to her. That was the part that was so weird. It's not like they were in the middle of a heated thing and Brit kind of escalated and said, I have pistols and blah, blah, blah. Kenya was over there. She was getting in another car. She was not speaking to Brit. So for Brit to keep escalating it like this was just so odd.
It's so weird. So weird. At that point, you're poking the bear. You're trying to purposely antagonize her. And so you can't fault people for being like, damn, this feel like, is she just looking for a moment now? She's just trying to be on reality TV. Is she this and that? Because nothing maybe there's a ton of footage on the cutting room floor that will support my theory. Maybe there's a ton of footage on the cutting room floor that didn't make it of Kenya just putting Brit through hell. But the thing that Brit always brings up on these episodes is she talked about my ring. My ring, it's a diamond. It's it's a ring, and she didn't know if I was married. My ring, and then she gave me a pat, not a hug. Like, what about either one of those things makes you threaten to pull out the blicky on anybody? Like, what are we talking about right now? What are we missing? Help us out.
Yeah, because again, Kenya was done with the conversation. So Brit is having this fight literally with herself.
Literally.
And Kenya, and I almost don't even know if everyone heard it, because I couldn't tell if Kenya heard it and no one else did. Because when Kenya's like, she's talking about pistols and whatever, and they all seem to be like, really? But maybe I misheard it, or maybe they were pretending they didn't hear it. But like, that's how far away Kenya was from Brit, and they were like holding Brit back, but Kenya wasn't talking to you anymore. You were just that mad that Kenya was ignoring you.
It's so weird. And why is her husband always around?
Right?
Like, did he say at the beginning of the scene that he was gonna drop her off and then come back and get her?
She said that she wanted him to come back because it was a bad area. So she does say, like, I'm making sure Mike is coming back because I'm scared to leave here at night. Sure. So I made sure to listen. Like, I thought for a second in my head, the first time I watched it, I told it to myself as she texted him, like, get over here, because Kenya's trying to mess with me. But no, she had said that it's a bad area, so I wanted Mike to come get me. She'd said that.
What the hell Mike go do? Anyway.
I know. And like, was he just like waiting in the parking lot? Like, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, no, it was all, the whole thing was just strange. And so, but like I was saying, it was interesting as a choice now, but now that what you've said makes more sense. They left us on a cliffhanger there for a whole week to be like, so she did threaten her, whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to be mad if not mad, but if tonight's episode is Brit being like so apologetic and like, I really shouldn't have said that. I was heated. I'm so sorry. I can't even believe, whatever. Like, if that's what's going to happen, and then Kenya still does this, then it'll be like, okay. But again, I still go back to, they both could have been punished, but both of them should have been punished. Yeah. That's what the choice to just make it Kenya. That's the part that's like weird. Why?
Right.
So I think you're onto something in that their hands were maybe tied by what the legal team said they had to do. And then do
you think that Brit like threatened anything legal? Like, do you think that she was like, oh no, because remember those next like couple of days after it broke online, like she was full on in the stories, like she was posting legal scripture, like all kind of stuff, saying like how wrong she was and everything. So I wonder if she engaged lawyers or if Bravo was trying to get ahead of something, like if a PR person came up with a plan. I got a lot of questions and I need some answers. Okay.
Yeah, that's why, like, because I think we all remember that legal thing, like the whole, she put the like statute of what revenge porn is. And I don't even think though this would fall under revenge porn, but what do I know? Maybe it does. I don't know. But I feel like because it was a photo, maybe the legal team was like, oh no, we can't, like, it's just too bad. And I don't know. I don't know the rules behind it, but I really think you're right. I think that the reason they're showing it to us like this and as honest as they are is because their hands were tied. So they're hoping the audience feedback will be like, see, we didn't need to do that. We could just, because they're not giving Brit a good edit at all.
No.
No, you said that like Mary Cosby when she comes
That's
in.
how I've adopted it.
Is that how when she goes to Whitney's house and tells the story?
Is they alive? No. I'm glad you caught that. That's exactly how I say it.
It's one of the best. No.
I'm ready to have fun with you guys.
I can't wait to make some cookies or whatever.
So it's such a stupid show.
That moment though never gets old. Whenever I go back and rewatch it, it's comedy timing. There's like beats. They have like the music playing.
It's all, oh my gosh. I've been like literally thinking about like the past couple seasons of Salt Lake, and I need to like do me a little rewatch just to
Oh
pick me
God,
up. The
that
world's
was
on fire. We all need a little more Salt Lake
right.
City
We
in our
all
lives.
do. Totally. That was so good.
Gosh.
Okay, let's move it along to Bev Hills,
Oh
baby.
boy.
Oh
The
boy.
comments are about to be on fire, baby.
Kyle with her crystals. I was like, oh, that's the kind of day we're having here.
Oh
Okay. That's
girl.
the effort. That's the energy. That's what we got. All right. So I know I already like made content about this, but it's going to be repetitive. But Sutton came into this reunion thinking that her and Kyle were on the same team and they were like an alliance. But meanwhile, she's backstage with Erica making fun of Sutton for which was ridiculous last year when she was like, "Oh my god, I feel so faint." I'm like, I don't know if I believe this at all. I think you're just afraid of Kathy coming out. But okay, whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
But Sutton's going into this thinking that she's friends with Garcelle and with Kyle. Like I'm in that clique now. Like I followed all the rules. I didn't talk about Morgan, so I'm gonna be cool. And then when she saw the seating chart, I bet she was like, okay, yes, I am in. I'm with
Us
Kyle.
versus them. Yeah,
This
man.
couch versus that couch. We don't like them over there because we're mad at Dory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what's gonna play out? Sutton was panicked because Sutton is like not connected to who she really is, as where Garcelle has just been this way forever, right? She's like, I've showed up authentically this way, and I've not been like secretly hoping to become friends with Kyle while doing all this, unlike Sutton, which is just still very wild to me.
Right.
But now let's go. We need to go to Erica because I have videos to play about this actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. So two different things happened. First, Andy asks Erica, "Who makes your dress?" And she said, "Some random designer." And
pissed me off.
And I cannot even remember the name of the designer now, but a bunch of accounts were like, "This designer is huge. Like he's dressed everybody." And
Beyonce.
So random designer, but then also Andy gives Erica a shout out about having a song in Honora. Okay, I'm gonna play what happened here. Okay. This was released on TikTok right after the reunion.
Okay.
Our ears when we heard your song Drip in the movie Honora.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a feature.
It'll get louder, I promise.
The movie won Palme d'Or, and now it's up for Best Movie.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know, it's wild, right?
Hey y'all. Okay, so my name is Brit Candy, as you already know, and I want to talk about last night's reunion of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So, my song Drip was mentioned. We'll get into it. It was mentioned in the beginning. Andy Cohen congratulated Erica Jane for being in an Oscar-winning film or having her song Drip in an Oscar-winning film. And she said, "Oh, I'm just a feature, but yeah, it's won this award. Like, girl, why could you have not used that moment to give me my flowers? Like, I put you on that song, on an album, which, mind you, featured incredible artists. Like, I had features from Rico Nasty, I had features from Charlie XCX, I had features from Malibu Mitch, I had features from Laguni Changa, Bree Runway, Ash Nico, Too Poor. I feel like I'm like forgetting someone. Oh,
I'm so old.
Okay,
I'm like,
so
I don't know
then
any
you
of these
decide
people.
to, instead of just like saying my name and giving me like a little bit of like credit for my song that features you, you decide to just say, "Oh, I'm just a feature." Like, you could have taken that moment and given me my flowers, and you didn't, and I think that says a lot about you. This is part one of what I want to say, because I have a lot more to say, and I have another like interaction with you that I think the world needs to hear about. So there's definitely going to be a part two. So stream Drip.
Here's the second part.
Hey y'all, it's Brooke Candy. So I'm back for part two of this Erica Jane drama because I want to put it to bed. So here's what happened, and this is why I have a problem, and this is why I made yesterday's video. So she had a private screening at the Grove at AMC's The Grove, right? She had a private screening of Anora. She didn't invite me. That's number one. That's problem number one. And filled the theater with fans. She used it as an opportunity to promote herself. She signed autographs. She took pictures. And then the next day, and here's where it gets really messy. The next day, she made a post on Instagram that said she wanted to thank AMC for letting her use the theater. She wanted to thank all the fans for coming out, and she wanted to thank them, and also especially thank the movie for using her song Brit.
Oh. Oh.
How could I not have a problem? Like, she didn't tag me, that's my song. She's literally taking credit for my song. It's insane. I'm sorry. Anyone would have an issue with this. Like, you don't do this as an artist. That's why she's not an artist. She doesn't get it. But you don't do this. It's rude. It's rude and it's delusional and it's wrong. You can't do that. You can't take credit for my song Drip. Babe, it's on my album Sexorcism and it features you. And your feature is incredibly small. And Jesse St. John wrote it. You didn't even write it. You didn't even write it. Like, but it's your song, but it's your song. Okay, that's fine. So that's why I have a problem, because that. Then, even my dog was like, no girl. Okay. So then I texted her because I saw the post. A friend sent it to me and was like, girl, you got to see this shit. And I was like, oh my God. I sent her a text and I was like, hey, you know what? I worked really hard on this song and so did a lot of other people. Would you mind tagging me? I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot. Blah, 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 blah. And let me show you the text now.
Let me pause it. Can you see it, Kendrick?
Yes.
Can you read it?
Of course. Hey, babe, how are you? I saw your post on Instagram and it looks great. Congrats on the screening. Would you mind tagging me in the caption? I worked hard on the song and the video with a great group of artists, and I also negotiated with the film crew to put the song in the movie. Erica hearted the message and she said, done. Heart emoji, little heart emoji. And then she goes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Getting credit for high visibility post is always great. Heart emoji. And then Erica responded back with 3 hearts.
Okay, now we're going to keep going. Thank you, Kendrick.
Of course. Look at me reading.
Look at you read. You did so good, too.
So you can see that even after being left out of a private screening of Anora, even after having my song be like not stolen, but she was like taking credit for it, even after all of that, I still texted her with an empathy and grace. I needed to make this video because I made yesterday's video and I got a lot of heat from Housewives fans.
Of course you did.
Who were like sticking up for her, who were making excuses, who were like saying this and that and this and that. And it's like, this proves that she did something that was absolutely insane and wrong. And I just had to show it and show the tea and show the proof. I have the receipts, babe. And so that's it. And that's all I wanted to say, and that's part 2, and I'm done. I'd rather have collaborated with Countess Luann, so happy now. Okay, so I'm gonna take it down a notch and end this on a positive note, and I just want to say, stream Drip. It's a good song. It's an Oscar-winning film. It's honestly, it slaps, and stream all my music if you have time. And have just an amazing day. I hope that you have a wonderful day and know that I love you.
Bye.
What else can I say?
So, yeah.
Notice you said Countess Luann and not Ashley Darby up there hearing her sing that Roberta Flack.
Oh, God. I can't remember if I sent that to you or not, but I was like, that was rough. That Ashley Darby. Ooh, that wasn't okay.
Oh,
so that on response to what she said about how she posted her first part and then got all these Housewives fans defending her or whatever. So I assumed everybody knew about the Marco Erica thing, but I made a post about how, she's always trying to blame Tom for all of her legal stuff, but 2 of her active lawsuits are the Marco situation. And so many people commented like, because it's been out for years. The story's been out for so long. There was a whole doc done on it. And so I just assumed everyone knew. But some people commented like, you really shouldn't present this without all of the facts. And a bunch of people just ate them up. Like, it's been out for so long that if you wanted to, like, if you come, because it happens to me all the time. If I come across a story that clearly someone is in the middle of telling, because like it's been out for a while, whatever, and I need to know more, I will take it upon myself to then go to Google and be like, okay, wait, what? I don't know that whole story, and like look up full story of whatever. So the temptation to be like, I'm sorry, I can't believe this because you're not giving enough information. It's like, no, it's just information that doesn't fit into what you want Erica Jane to be. And this is who she is. She has, didn't she do this with another person too? She ripped off, she used the hook of a song. Like she did I can't remember what it is now. But she didn't put them like in the credits on her out on like in the whatever. Yeah, something like that. Like she's known for doing this. So
you gotta do that.
Sucks. Erica fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Period.
Always will.
But you know who else really sucks?
Wait, before we move on, can I ask you what style is that artist had, Brooke Candy? What hairstyle is that?
What do you mean?
I'm you mean I
like
feel like it's my
crimped?
look.
It's crimped? Is that what you mean?
I like the crimps because it reminds me of Beyonce in the Say My Name video. So I love the crimps.
You mean the bangs?
The bangs, yeah.
I think that's a her thing.
okay.
That's not a look. That's not a style.
Okay.
Know of
because I see it sometimes. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't do anything funky with my hair. So to me, it all just seems like something I'd never do. But maybe if that's maybe that's a trend.
Right. I'm like, maybe it's rocker. I don't know. It's something that, listen, I knew it was out of my age group when she started naming all those artists. I knew 2 of them and I was like, okay, girl.
Yeah, me too. I think someone even commented, like, I knew Rico Nasty and Charlie XCX, and then she lost me.
Those were the 2 I knew. Exactly.
And then she just kept listing name. I'm like, you just sound like she was naming crazy things. I'm like, you said what now?
Like ingredients. I was like, okay, I don't know. There we go. All right then. Okay.
This sounds like ingredients.
All right.
But okay, you know who else sucks? PK. PK. I'm sure by now you guys have either like watched the episode I did or you saw it online, but PK saw a video that I did from early February, and I'm sorry, he did not appear to be someone who was stone cold sober in the way he was typing, spelling, misspelling. Anyway, if you want to know more of that information, you can. I kind of half regret posting it just because I got so much attention, and like I don't want that much attention, which is ironic because I do this. But like it got like picked up by like Up and Adam, because I think you were on live when someone said that they wrote in the chat PK DM'd Emily.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I read that or not.
Okay.
Maybe.
So you weren't in there. Anyway, so we got Up and Adam, Reality Blur, page 6. And a lot of the comments were very like, I'm team PK on this one. I'm like, okay, I can't actually. I can't.
The man literally threatened you. So that's alarming. So
yeah. And like, also, when his big thing was that I got the number of years wrong that he was married to his first wife, but like I didn't invent them. That's just what comes up online. And then he was mad that shout out to Bravo Ducking Bravo. She is like the one you want to go into a fight with. I'll tell you that. Because she talked about it on her podcast, and she sent me a voice note saying, because I wanted to look it up myself, I typed into Google like PK first family, like older children or whatever I put in, and an article from Bravo TV came up from last year. And I was like, oh, that's where I got my picture from. I couldn't remember where I had pulled all my sources. I'm like, oh, that's right. It was just from I literally looked up because I was like, I don't remember how old they are or whatever. And that came up. And that's where I pulled the photo that he was like, you dug up an old photo. I'm like, I really don't even dig things. I'm not really good at digging up. Like, I'm kind of lazy when I start doing my research anyway. Like, I'm like, oh, that's too complicated. I got to figure something out.
No, ain't no deep diving over here, bitch. Like,
Yeah,
get out of here.
I just pulled from articles, and so
Right.
but like the point of that the video was about how he had said on Bravo's Hot Mic he doesn't know why Dorit even brought up the bankruptcies and gambling debts because it didn't even affect her. It was all before her time. And my point in the video was, well, that's not true because in current time, while you guys were married, her accounts were frozen while they figured out what you could pay back this one dude who you owed millions of dollars to. Like she's been affected by it. And what made me even think about how he had a first wife was that when I was like, when did he get divorced? And then I thought, oh, and I saw like their home was pre-foreclosed on. And I was like, wow, this is becoming like this total pattern here. But I don't think PK did not appear sober. And the reason I say that is because here Dorit is being asked about, how long has he been sober? And she's like, we don't discuss that anymore. I was like, oh, what? And then Andy figures out like, oh, I think you're trying to say that you don't think he's still sober.
Right.
And she's like, I don't know.
The man is globe trotting with Mauricio.
Thank you.
We know Mauricio ain't doing nothing sober, so
that's why. Because there were a few pictures of Mauricio and PK partying together, and I was like, this does not look like there's no chance in hell PK is sober for this. Like there was like champagne being like sprayed everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you can't obviously you can be with people that are drinking and not drink yourself, but
totally look at Candy. But like the way he's globetrotting and single and all that, I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But PK sent in a statement, and we're gonna read the statement. Here we go. Okay. I was invited to be part of the reunion, but declined because I don't believe engaging with Dorit in this forum would be constructive. Dorit has made several mischaracterizations about me, but the one I must address is the claim that I am a bad father. That statement is both heartbreaking and false. It is deeply hurtful to me and more importantly to our children who, despite Dorit's assertion, will inevitably see and hear all of this at a time not of our choosing. The closest to us know the truth. Many have wanted to speak out, but I've asked them not to because the truth should never need a champion. I refused to stoke a fire I did not ignite. I mean, that's a good line right there.
Right.
The Dorit, this part, I was like, and you lost me. The Dorit I married would never have allowed this, much less caused it. That woman embodied kindness, integrity, and grace. I can only hope this version of Dorit finds her way back to the person she once was.
Goodness.
Now I have to, this is going to sound like I'm defending Dorit because I'm not. I really do know. I know that Dorit sucks. Believe me. Okay. But remember the Denise season where they were like trying to out Denise, but Dorit wasn't going along with it. And like a long time ago, Pia and I did a whole Origin of the Fox Force 5 episode. And when going through that, I was like, I wonder if they know that Dorit just like isn't, this is so mean, but isn't like smart enough to go with one of their plans. Like she'd like ruin it because she's so like, I swear there's something like a learning disability for Dorit because she doesn't get points that are being made. And I like genuinely think she's still lost, even though you've told her 50 times.
Right.
She's still like, but I want to get to the base of it. And you're like, we already did. I already said it. And so I felt like maybe they left her out because they're like, Dorit can't pull this off. Dorit can't.
Right.
She's out. She's there not picking up on what they're trying to do either. Like she kept being like, I'm sorry, I just don't get it. And they're looking at her like, what are you doing? This is clearly the plan. And so I don't know if Dorit is one to all out fabricate a complete and total lie. Like PK's trying to make it seem, like she's just... What you say what you're thinking because I can see.
No.
Oh, okay.
Keep going.
Okay, I'll keep going. I will keep continuing. So it feels like she's because she took the protecting him part of it away because she's been doing that. Like, that this we talked about it before, like the moment where they're in the confessional, like eating chips, trying to avoid answering questions. Like she's done all of that, right? But she's also been like believing PK this whole time. Like when she talks about the foreclosure And she's like, PK said that they changed the rate and he does business by he won't do anything until they call him back. And that's just how he does business. So like, she's been like listening to PK, but now he's abandoned her. And I feel like she's just saying all the truth stuff. That maybe we're more like not intelligent, but calculated, because that you kind of do need to be a little bit more intelligent to be calculated. I know I'm insulting her, but I'm also complimenting her at the same time. I don't think she's fabricating it. I don't think she's pretending that she's like not seeing PK and the kids. I think she's saying the truth. And he's like, bitch, you're not supposed to say the truth. You've been covering for me this whole time. That's how this relationship has worked. So yeah, so I'm not here to be like, I think Dorit's just saying this to make PK look bad. I think Dorit, if PK said to her, I want to make this work, even after all this, she would do it.
She's running back. Oh yeah, absolutely. She doesn't want. I fully don't think she wants to get divorced. I think that this was like sprung on her, and she. This go sound shady too, but I don't know whether it's because of she's genuinely longing for the life they used to have, or the life she's used to waking up to, or if she just doesn't want to go through the hassle of finding another rich person to attach herself to. And I don't know what listen, people marry for different things. I'll never tell somebody to marry for love, marry for whatever the hell you want to. Okay. I'm just saying, if you got the choice of just like getting with the evil as opposed to going and meeting a new evil that you have no idea about, maybe it's better to stay with the one So I get it. Like she's but it also has us looking at her side-eyed, because it's one thing to, say, oh, he's an alcoholic, I don't like this portion of him. But to like be so willing to go back to somebody that you say is a bad father and stuff, it's like, ooh, I don't know.
That's a great point, Kendrick.
It's a lot.
It's like you're willing to say all this about him, but then if he were to, because maybe she thinks if he were to fix those things, like if he were to not like go back to not drinking, or I don't know exactly what it is in her mind that she's like, this isn't the PK I'm used to. It's a different PK. He's going through a crisis type of thing. But that the reason I was even aware of or was interested in what happened in his first marriage is because I wondered like how he got to the point of he having all these debts and things coming into another marriage and realizing, oh, this is what he does. Like he okay. So yeah. So him being like, she's mischaracterizing me, but I don't like the way he's saying like that woman that I fell in love with is a different person than who this is.
Always hate
very
that.
Manipulative. It's very gaslighty. Very.
It highlights like what you thought the marriage was going to be in the worst possible way, because you're highlighting saying that like, I never expected my wife to develop in any kind of way. I thought I would marry this person. She would sit her ass over there. She would raise these kids. She would cook breakfast. She would not have any semblance of a public name, any of that. She would just be Mrs. PK. She'd be Mrs. Paul Kimsley for the rest of her life. That isn't what happened. And it all kind of feels like that's a really flowered way of saying, I miss this person that would kiss my ass from sun up to sundown.
Exactly. And live and pretend and just cover for me. Like, ew.
Blindly.
Sure. Blindly, yeah. Then Andy turns it over to Kyle, and it's like, Kyle, you got a lot of grief over what you said about what Dorit shared about how PK would get angry. And you said, I mean, when they played it again, I was like, oh, that's right. It was bad. She's like, I don't know if she's just saying this because PK is not here to defend himself, and she's just using this opportunity to get her version out. I'm like, oh, shit. Kyle, there's no defending that, but she stands on it. She's like, I mean, I just didn't know. I didn't know. And you did seem different, more aggression from you than usual. I'm like, no, let's go back to that thinking is like, when did she become like a conservative right in front of our eyes? Like she's taking us to gun ranges, doing shooting with Mauricio. She's wearing cowboy hats like all the time. Like, what's happened here?
She met Morgan. Anyway, that initially I felt what Kyle was saying, but like you, when she's played it back, I was like, oh, that did come across bad. Because initially I thought what she was trying to say without saying it was, I think Dorit now is the only one with this platform. So she's trying to capitalize on that and like make sure that her story, like her side of history is the right side of history, which I think anybody on reality TV would do. So like when Kyle said it, I was like, oh, well, it makes sense. That's what anybody with a brain is going to, that's what Portia is attempting to do on Real Housewives of Atlanta by excluding Dennis from filming with Drew. So I'm like, that makes sense. I mean, that's baby daddy, you know, all this and that. But then when they played it back, I was like, oh no, Kyle's getting deep. She's saying some other stuff that like this
she seems
feels
Dorit
like
lying.
Yeah, this feels like not Fox Force 5 territory. Like if I never get back in it, I'm okay with it. I'd much rather be solo type of territory they're in.
Yeah, no, that's exact. Like she basically said, I don't believe Dorit when Dorit said that PK becomes the monster. I was like, oh, okay. Then there's this whole argument from Kyle about how no one reached out after the announcement, but somehow I'm the bad guy all season. And Dorit's not paying attention to the fact that Garcelle and Sutton didn't do it. And I'm like, Kyle, you're very much missing the point. You're friends with Dorit. They're not. Why would they be in the same category as you to Dorit?
Right.
It was
That's
Kyle
so
was
weird.
very bratty. To me, Kyle came off as like a little brat. Like, how come I'm always the one? How come you guys are always mad at me? How come it's always me? Oh, shut up.
I think that Erica and Dorit came in with a plan to like directly go at Garcelle this reunion. And I think that Kyle assumed that she was going to be public enemy number one. So she's like coming out like guns blazing. And they like, girl, who are you shooting? Like, why are you shooting? Like, we could all be on the same team. We can all jump Garcelle, but you shooting. So it felt like there was a lot of confusion amongst the teams. Like because for us to have this season where half of the season was Dorit versus Kyle, then the other half was Dorit versus Sutton. It felt so odd to me that Garcelle was in the hot seat. I was like, wait, what? Did I watch a different show than the cast? What? Like, none of that made sense to me. And it felt like I watched a different show than, well, actually, maybe me and Kyle watched the same show, but Dorit and Erica changed the show at the last minute. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's like Erica got real into whoever she speaks to in the like content creator world, I think was feeding her a lot of her talking points, because a lot of those talking points are what I see in the comments on like my stuff, like when I talk against Erica, and like they just sounded very similar. Like, well, what does Garcelle bring to the show? I'm like, you can always flip that right around. Like you can literally just, when you say that, I'm like, but then what did Erica bring? Like, you guys know all she did was redecorate her house.
Erica had to have known how dumb that was going to sound coming out of her mouth.
Right?
Like, you couldn't have thought you had the best season. You could not have possibly thought that. Like, that's crazy to me. You couldn't have thought that just because you got that last little weird, we got to update her on Tom Girardi's case, that little scene at the end of the finale, you couldn't have thought that meant you had an amazing season. Like, no. So you calling out Garcelle for girl. Wallpaper.
and as you said last week, that scene wasn't even a scene. Like, no way did we need the update, because she didn't tell us anything anyway, per usual.
Right? Because now, to me, that has cheapened that experience. Because when we would see articles saying that cameras have picked back up on whatever show, we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. They're going to capture it. We think about Scandival. We think about Drew and Ralph divorce. And we think about, there was some stuff going on in New Jersey one time, that they picked back up cameras for. So like all this stuff, we're like, oh my God, what's happening? Why they going back? What's going on? What are they going to capture? I can't wait to see it. But now it's like, that's what y'all wanted me to see? That's how you wanted to end this season?
I know that it's. Are you watching that show, The Studio, on Apple Plus, Apple TV?
Should I be?
I don't know. People are loving it, but Seth Rogen, like, I don't know. He's kind of driving me crazy too. I can't decide if I like it or not. But it's all about how like studio heads have to deal. It's about a studio head. He's taken over as the studio head, but he's also like a guy who loves making films, and it's like a whole issue. And there's a Ron Howard movie that they're screening, and they're like, yay, it's going to be so good. It's a Ron Howard thing. But he ends the movie, they're like, that was the best movie ever. But then like, oh, there's more. Oh, sorry, there's more. And there's like an extra 45 minutes of a scene that's just like, no one likes it, but they don't know how to tell Ron Howard it's bad. Like, it makes me think like that. I honestly was like, that's like when they went back to get Erica and Kyle talking about the Tom Girardi scene. Or it was literally like, we ruined it. Like, I don't know what this was. Let her just continue talking about nothing and having her stupid redesign storyline.
You just made me think of a point. That also shows you how fractured Beverly Hills is, because I thought that if anybody would have come to Erica to talk about this, it would have been Dorit. I didn't even like, in my mind, it didn't even click to me that Erica and Kyle were still close. Like, it's hard for me to keep up with who actually likes each other on this show, like
Yeah.
from week to week. And so I'm like, this, I actually would never have thought that it'd be her going back there to talk to Erica about that. I would have thought at least like a FaceTime from Dorit or something. Yeah, Bose would have made more sense, but I guess I forget that Kyle and Erica apparently are on good terms. I don't know. They're hard to keep up with. They're weird.
Danny Pellegrino said on Threads, he kind of said it perfect. He's like, this show feels like a bunch of coworkers who don't really like each other and don't even like going to work.
Yeah. That's the perfect way to say it. Exactly. Because there, you know what, because I'm someone, I love my coworkers, but every day I don't necessarily want to go to work that day. But I'm like, you know what, when I get there, their energy brings me right up. So I'm okay being there. Them, it's like, nope, I'm staying miserable because I don't want to be here and I hate all these yeah. So no.
Exactly.
Don't want to be here.
Exactly. Okay, they go to Andy asks Sutton if she's worried about Dorit. And obviously she's like, I am. And Dorit's like, well, you have to actually care about someone to be worried about them. And Sutton says, I just worry for all women. You be quiet, Sutton. You shut your damn mouth. But then she's like, whose name's on the mortgage? Do you know that? And Dorit probably was like, don't ask me questions I can't answer. But then had to pretend. Exactly. She was like, I'm not going to talk about that with you, which I thought also was fair. I'm like, she's not going to get into that with you right now, Sutton. So that's fair. But Dorit keeps trying to make her point. And Sutton does something that she keeps kind of doing. She keeps referencing back to her own experience. But in her experience, they were all
very positive.
So she's like, I didn't know I had 2 baseball teams. That was a surprise to me. And even Andy's like, that's a nice surprise. So that's,
yeah.
You keep bringing these things up. It's going to be more the opposite for most people.
Right.
That once they start digging into finances, are like, oh, we're broke, as opposed to you finding out you're richer than you ever could have imagined.
God, I wish I had a baseball team somewhere.
I know. She keeps bringing this shit up. Like, I mean, come on. Like, look at me. I'm like, yeah, but you came out so okay.
Yeah. If I had a baseball team, I could buy eggs. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Amazing.
And then they get into the foreclosure thing, which we know is not great. But that just doesn't make any sense. And I, like you said last week, love that when Dorit explains PK's version of it, Bose goes, well, that's how you lose a house.
Okay.
And she's like, well, he resolved it. They ended up calling. So that's great. Andy, though, asks, how often does he see the kids? And she says Saturday night, if he's in town.
That's alarming.
Right.
That's
and
alarming.
when PK was DMing me, I noted the time for me was 2:17 a.m. that he had sent it. But it was also interesting because I'm like, he wouldn't even want to admit if he wasn't in LA, because he's trying to prove like he's Mr. Good Dad.
Right.
You know, so like he couldn't be like, well, I'm not even in, it's this time for me or whatever. Cause it's like, so you're not in town.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah, who got the kids?
Exactly.
And that made me confused too. Cause I'm wondering, she specifically said Saturday night. So does that mean that, does he bring them back that night or does he keep them overnight? Or
I wondered the same thing. Saturday night. I was like, what does that mean?
You know, I forget. It was a friend in New York that I have that really made me realize, I forget sometimes how, like, when I think of like split custody, because I don't have kids, I'm not going through no kind of battles. Okay. When I think about it, I always think about like somebody has them during the week and somebody has them on the weekends, but I forget how like flexible it can be. Like, I know someone who has them like literally Wednesday, Thursday, and then the other days they're with the other parent. I'm like, oh, I guess it really does depend on whoever's schedule is, you know, scheduling. But I don't know
what like week on, week off, or 3 weeks,
right?
Whatever, like that kind of
yeah,
all sorts of finagling. The Bose package. Was anyone else surprised that she said she watched the show beforehand? Only because she ended up being so close with Dorit. And I guess I understood what she said. She said Garcelle and her had a meeting or a lunch or whatever before filming, and Garcelle didn't want to give any tea to like sway her opinion. And then Bose is like, and so when I walked into that party, Dorit was just the one who was the most open with me. And I kind of just like went with that. And okay, I kind of get it. I just like, but you also, if you did watch the show, like you had to have known
You
were
had to have
with
questioned a couple of
Erica
things.
and like, and her being so tight with Erica too. Like, really?
It's weird. You had to have known that like one day on this show you're gonna be the target. Like you had to have known that like that's weirdo behavior. Like to me, it felt like Garcelle did it perfectly because she told her exactly what you should say to someone. Like, no, don't let me help you form your opinion. I would tell someone if I genuinely thought that like there was something unsavory going on, like something that I felt like was some kind of implicit bias, or like there have been some flags that I'm like, okay, like this is something. But even then, Garcelle's like, nope, form your own opinions. You might have entirely different relationships, like whatever. But I have to think Garcelle was like, girl, I told you that, and that's who the hell you picked. Like, really? That's the side you went on, girl. Like, I'm trying to be nice to you, and this is the hell you doing? Okay. Are you on your own mess? So I'm sorry.
That was surprising. I was like, oh, okay. I kind of thought you were in the dark about a lot of stuff, but okay, never mind. All right, cool. Garcelle tries to defend herself against how she said that Bose and Dorit were like leaving the group out of the things, the moments that they were having, whatever. I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound like I'm criticizing Garcelle, but I feel like she was so caught off guard with the direction that the questions and the conversation was going, that she wasn't her usual like sharp self, because she has the way she has conducted herself in scene after scene. And I'm like, how does she find the words like that? She is so good. I felt like she was thrown off. And so she was trying to say, like, people had an issue with me and Sutton being friends. And Andy goes, well, then wouldn't that make you not do that to Bose and Dorit? And she's like, yeah, but I didn't go on and on. Like, oh my God, how are they friends? Oh my God, are they getting along? Or how are they getting along? And they're like, but you did do that. Like you did kind of do that. And I just feel like she wasn't able to articulate herself the way she normally can.
I think she thought it was going to be a day like Erica's having. I mean, Erica ain't had nothing going on. So Erica probably thought she was going to sit back and not have to talk about a damn thing either, unless it was to help attack somebody else. Garcelle, on the other hand, was the one that she didn't know she was going to be attacked that day. So now she's sitting back like, oh, wait, hold on. Like, I didn't think about any of this. Like, wait, what are we talking about right now? Because I was ready. So I genuinely think she was like blindsided in this moment, like coming in like, wait, this whole season, I have not been like the catalyst of any kind of negativity. So like, why am I being brought up? Like, this makes no sense. Genuinely thrown off.
And I will say, I think it's fine. Garcelle can handle a lot and has. I think it was just confusing for her, and it threw her off. And so when they get to the robbery part and how she said, what she said about the robbery, I feel like she could have explained herself better and said, no, I never meant to say that you had anything to do with it. And if it sounded like I was implicating PK, I'm sorry. But what I meant was, it just seemed like somebody close to you knew exactly what was going on, got the date wrong, whatever. But instead, like all she kept saying was, it's just my feeling. It's just the way I feel. I'm like, that's not holding up in court here, because there were reasons to feel like, when we all saw the story and heard the details, a lot of us were like, wow, that just sounds so odd.
Everybody on Beyonce's internet. Yeah. The stuff they stole, leaving the cell phone.
Yes. All that stuff. Weird. And so it did sound fishy. And Dorit, I don't think Dorit knew about it. I really don't, because I don't think would have been clued in like that, because I feel like if PK did orchestrate it and then got the date wrong or whatever, he would never have clued Dorit in, because that would mean he like respected her. I don't think he respects Dorit at all. Right. Honestly, I really don't.
It was probably so it happened at a different time, but they came home and went to sleep and all that kind of stuff, and they were there. So I think the robbers had to make do and all this kind of. I genuinely, I think what it was that, one, everybody thought this. So like, let's not be weird about that. Talking about the 4 people on Twitter. Like, no, girl, you remember, because you brought it up so many times. We all thought that. But Where I would have had to, I would have had to clap back a little bit if I was Garcelle. And that's one of the things I shouldn't be on reality TV. One, because you can't talk to me crazy and expect me not to say nothing back to you. But two, like I would have in that moment where she's saying like, because Dorit, that's what she messed up. She said, "You really think that?" Because they were talking about who's to blame for. I know my Dorit accent came out.
It was good.
Who's to blame for it? And Garcelle specific, she's like, "No, I never said you were." Roll the tape, and they rolled the tape, and she didn't say her. But then she's like, "You would think PK would put his children in danger like that?" My immediate thought was, "Well, you've been talking about how bad of a father he is all season, so why in the world wouldn't I think something like that?" I'm just saying, if you go base your whole personality this season on that man being a terrible father, why wouldn't I think he'd do something like that for the insurance money? I'm just saying. Listen, my brain is a little too quick for that. Garcelle, we could have, girl, tap me in. We could have been like a tag team match in the WWE in the 90s. We could have did some stuff. I'll come to part 2 if you want me to.
Well, and the answer could have been, no, I don't think he thought you guys would be home, because I swear they came home early from a vacation. I could have sworn.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like the kids and Dorit came home early and PK stayed or something.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a date mix-up is more likely. I don't think PK wanted them to be home for it. I think he wanted it to be like the first time they got robbed, which was in a couple seasons ago, and no one was home, and they came home from a vacation and their stuff was gone. Like I feel like that's what he was expecting to happen in some way. So they were there. But anyway, now let's talk about what Erica had to say, because Andy asked Erica to clarify what did you mean when you said Sutton and Garcelle are not sharing their real lives. And Erica has the nerve to be like, "We want to know who you're dating, girl." I'm like, for the millionth time, you have not once told us who you are dating.
Right. You just throw out those like throwaway lines of, "Oh, I'm having some great sex," or, "Oh, me and this guy, like, he blew my back out," and all. Like, girl, you ain't told us nothing. Who you dating? Who you hunching? What's going on?
Oh, that part drove me nuts. She's like, "We want to know who you're dating." You literally haven't told us who you're dating since Tom. Okay.
Right.
And then Garcelle says, "Do you know something?" And Erica says, "No, I guess I wish you were more interesting." And then Garcelle goes, "That's a shitty thing to say." And Erica goes, "No, I think you kind of led me there."
Girl,
what?
I hate that, because Erica's one of the easiest reads on TV. So this, we could have had some fun at this. Boy, oh boy. Garcelle was over this. I think she's genuinely just ready to go.
I do
like,
too.
girl,
I think that she was like, "Oh, this is what I don't feel like." Like I said last week, there's a point where you're like, "Okay, I guess I could step up here and start to battle, but like, it's not worth it."
Right.
It's not worth it. I don't want to be here anymore. None of us like each other. And then Erica bringing up how she's like, "The thing is, what I've been through, what Dorit is going through, what Kyle is going through. What are you trying to say?" Right. And so Garcelle's like, "Well, I went through my divorce before the show. So what do you want me to say? I don't even know." But then Kyle steps in and is like, "Yeah, you're like, why can't you show your life?" But I'm like, "I've been doing this for 14 years. And like, what more can I show?" And it's
everything.
Like, well, then the Morgan topic comes up. And it's interesting. Kyle says, "She came on as a favor to me." And I was like, now, why the fuck was that a favor to you? Right. Especially since you didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want the rumors, whatever. What was the favor?
Right.
Why couldn't you have someone else who's not the person you're rumored to be in a relationship with?
Like, oh, I don't know. How about, well, I'm glad she didn't, but you got sisters who have been on the show before. You got Kathy right there. And Kathy, I think, did she take last season off and then came back this season? So, yeah. So there are many other people you can call for a favor. I mean, call Paris or Nikki ass. Call them in to be on the show. No, you cause this person that you've been taunting us with this whole time, making us feel as if we're ignorant for thinking that there's something going on when you are backstage at her concerts. You're her love interest in her music video. You're tattooing her as if you're a tattoo artist. Like, don't gaslight me into thinking that there's something going on so that you can use this for TV fodder. Like, it doesn't work like that. You don't get to have it both ways. Sorry, Kyle.
And I don't know if it's coming the next part, but when Andy calls her out for the video, the music video, I don't know if they just kept it in the reunion trailer, and that I don't know if they cut it from this segment, but like, I'm right. I'm like, is someone going to talk about the video?
And you know what pissed me off? If it doesn't end up coming up,
Uh-huh.
that means that Kyle watched the first episode and got in touch with her producers.
Or the trailer, you mean?
Yeah, either the trailer, well, they get the episodes early, so either the trailer or
right.
the episode, and then all of a sudden, oh, maybe we need to cut this part out. Don't let them ask about this and all of that, and that'll really like show, because it seems like everybody, even her close friends on the show, are tired of her like using production on her side just because she's been on the show for so long.
Mm-hmm. Garcelle made a point that it finally clicked for me too, exactly why she brings stuff up that's in the media. She's like, we will look like hypocrites if all of this is out there and we don't bring it up.
Right.
And I know that that's her listening to the audience, because that is what every fucking season we say it. Like, they just pretend like the one thing we want to talk about, you're not going to talk about it on the show. So what's the point of the show at this point?
Right.
And so when she said that, I'm like, that's the thing. But they don't care about looking like hypocrites. They just are trying to get through a season and get their money, I guess. Like, at this point, they're just collecting checks.
Exactly. They've been on autopilot for so long, which is why we need at least 3 new women.
So Garcelle asked Kyle, well, then why did you come to me off camera? And Kyle looks at her like stunned. She's like, because I thought we were friends. And then Garcelle, just to put Sutton on the spot, goes, and what did you say after Kyle walked away? Sutton's like, I said she wants to protect Morgan. She goes, that's not what you said.
Exactly.
You said that was a chess move. And I know Sutton said that because Sutton said that when Kyle did the like dinner before they all went, I don't remember where they were going, on a trip or something, but after Kyle stormed out of the spa day, she called a meeting with Erica, Garcelle, and Sutton's confessional soundbite was, this was strategy. This was Kyle figuring out how to. So Sutton had those thoughts about Kyle.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, Sutton switched from doing what she was normally going to do, like she just calling him out, whatever, to wait a minute, I have a chance of getting in. And I'm going to take that opportunity. And she didn't want to tell Garcelle that, because Garcelle would have been like, what are you talking about?
Especially when Garcelle in the finale was like, you do all this stuff to protect Kyle when Kyle does nothing for you. And then Kyle at this reunion showed exactly that, when she was like, well, that's Sutton's problem, not my problem.
Exactly. And so I think Sutton was like trying to play both sides and thought she could pull it off, but she really just cannot do that after a while, especially not when you're going to leave your good friend Garcelle out to dry like that and just hang there. The one thing I will say is, when Kyle brought up the lesbian comment from Garcelle, and I think at this point Garcelle was done. I think she was just like, I'm ready to get off the stage. I'm ready for a break. But Kyle's like, that, I think you brought that up to embarrass me. And I do think, look, just because Garcelle normally, when she's on her game, would have just been like, and if that's how it came across, I'm sorry, because Garcelle knows how to do that. Garcelle knows how to squash something. And she couldn't even give her that. She was like, okay.
Right.
It wasn't. I didn't say, she was drained at that point. And then Sutton, though, chimes in the middle of this to be like, just so you know, I did not talk about Morgan. I was like,
such a loser. Such a loser.
What are you doing right now? Oof. Because after Kyle called them mean girls, Sutton went into a spiral, absolute spiral. Hold on, wait. Then they go, I'm going through my notes, and they go, we already did the Dorit thing. Okay, yeah. So then they break for lunch. And after that whole thing, it was Dorit, Garcelle, Erica, Kyle, Garcelle. Sutton has the nerve to be like, everybody hates me. I'm going to cry. And even Kyle's like, you haven't even started yet.
Right.
Like, that was all Garcelle, but she's spiraling now because I feel like she said that to check Kyle's temperature, to see how Kyle would respond. Cause she's like, I've lost her for sure. Who's in the background? Is that Socks or your mom?
My mom's here. And I can hear it in the background.
I know. I'm like, something's happening back there. So they break, and Sutton goes to Garcelle's room, and Sutton is not interested in consoling her at all. I know you had to take your headphones out. You did not hear what I just said.
No, what'd you say? I'm back.
Sutton doesn't walk in wanting to like be there for Garcelle. Sutton walks in to be like, I felt a little thrown under the bus there. And she's like, okay, sorry. And she's like, it's about to get really bad for me. Okay, well, did you just see what happened?
She's so like heliocentric with herself. Like she's the sun and everything just revolves around. She can't even like force herself to have empathy for the one person that's had her back the entire time she's been on the show.
Literally.
Entire time.
And I wish Garcelle had this in the moment, but when the way she was like, fuck you, Erica. Sorry, I didn't have criminal activity. And the way she said, fuck her. I was like, oh, the delivery on this is so good. Like,
got it good on Peacock.
It was like from her soul. She was like, fuck her. I was like, yeah.
It's the way I say it every week when I'm watching. Exactly.
So good. But Sutton was like, I'm not even listening. Like, I'm not even, because I'm really just more concerned that like now I'm out of the group.
Right. Ugh.
So anyways, all right. I haven't even listened. I haven't seen any of these comments. I just need to see like where are we? I think Sutton is scared if she pushes Kyle too far, then she will lose her spot. Oh, wait. I'm glad you brought this. Oh, Emily, I'm glad you brought this up. Because
is that you?
No, I know. Like I wrote it. I typed that up while I was doing.
You're like, oh my God, Emily, you're so smart. I love that. Yeah.
Because hold on. Because she will lose her spot. When Dorit said to Kyle, "Aren't you're friends with producers? Wouldn't you have known that my job wasn't on the line?" And like what you said about me just doing this to keep my job wasn't true. And the way Kyle was like, and yeah, I stand by it, means that your job was on the line.
Exactly. She's like, do you really want to go down? You wouldn't want to pull at that string right now? Because yeah, your job was on the line.
She was like, and I stand, look at my eyes, and I stand by it.
Right.
Girl.
You announced a divorce during the off season. So yeah, you're coming back. Like, stop it. Stop it.
She was like, cool. All right. So I swear, like, it's going to be tedious. We're going to have at least 2 more parts of this damn reunion. And I know just 2. I only want 1 more part, but I know they love to milk the Beverly Hills reunion. So we're going to get a 3rd. So who knows what part 2 will even be? Who knows? Honestly, part 2 is always filler. Part 2 is always like, this could have been an email.
Right. They can bring out Kathy and Jennifer and talk
right
about the little oh my God, you're so rich, Jennifer, and
yes.
Kathy,
oh
you're rich
my
too.
God, you're so right.
Yeah.
Like we already did it. We already did part 2. Skip it and just give us part 3.
Right.
Okay, now let's talk about White Lotus. I'm so excited for the finale.
Hour and a half.
I'm so excited.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, wait, let me get my timestamp down. Okay, we're in. So with this episode of Lotus, I went back and rewatched from the beginning again, because I wanted to remember things. And a couple things I noted. I wonder if Chloe is working Chelsea in some way, because when Chelsea's sitting at the bar by herself and Chloe comes over, it just makes me wonder if she wasn't like, I'm gonna go, like, we're fucking with her somehow.
A little target, yeah.
You know, something like that. Because like they get along so great, and it seems like they're besties. But like I don't know about that. But in this episode of Lotus, or I guess last episode, I was like, is Mook not so innocent?
Okay, so I this past week I told everybody, I'm like, okay, on Threads, I'm like, in order to get ready for the finale, drop even if it's just like so off the wall, like whatever, drop your theories about how this is going to end, what you think about the characters, like whatever. There were a lot of people that said that they thought Mook was in like that little like Russian gang. They're like, or they're involved in like some kind of criminality, but it's like working guy talk over. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of get that vibe too. I can see it.
Because when he talks to her about how he doesn't really think violence is the way he ever wants to be, Buddha teaches never to be violent, whatever. She's like pitching violence like it's a great idea. She's like, it's natural, it's human nature. and she even she's like, I thought you wanted a big promotion. I thought you wanted to make more money, but I guess not. I'm like, oh, so, which would be it's a fun little twisty poo.
Right.
Fun little twist. Now, so Frank, Sam's character, is dressed up as Steve, the director, and neither of these men did an ounce of prep work for this meeting with Sitala and her husband.
I love that so much.
Okay.
I love that so much.
She's like, what have you directed? He's like, what haven't I directed? The Enforcer, The Executor, The Notary. Killed me. And then she's like, what's the movie about? And he's like, haven't thought about that either. It's a fun caper, like a thriller. It's got everything: killings, double crossings, and all that stuff. What's my role? Well, she is a former prostitute, now a madam who runs a bordello. Your producer said the part would be based on me. He's like, yes, he did. He said that. And then Rick chimes in and goes, oh, she sings. That's the best part. And Frank goes, yeah, I should have led with that. Yeah. Like, it's just quick, great delivery. Great. Then the worst part, she goes, your producer says you've been watching some of my films. Which ones? I'm like, you guys. Frank's like, the ones I saw, you were fantastic. She's like, how would you know? They're entirely in Thai. Thank God Frank guesses the plot of one of the movies, though. She's like, well, give me a plot. He's like, you were royalty or something, a queen? And she's like, yes. And he's like, oh, okay, good. Thank God. But then Rick comes up with a plan, kinda, to get Jim in another room alone. And he goes, how about this? Frank and Sitala, you guys can talk movie stuff. But then Frank is Steve right now. So then Frank has to go, Steve. And he's like, oh, yes, Steve. The Frank's gonna have another director. I'm like, wow, could not be more of a mess and could not be more clear that you should get these men out of your home.
Exactly. But they want to be in Hollywood so bad.
Yeah, talk about doing business in Thailand. Let's go one-on-one over here. I'm like, nope, this should be your time to be like, we're gonna ask you gentlemen to leave.
Yeah. We no longer think this is legitimate. You don't even know the plot of your movie. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Exactly. Okay, the party, the house party of death, of impending death.
Gary Gregg, yes.
Gary Gregg. Honestly, in what world would Belinda and her son go to this man's house party? Truly.
Psycho.
Truly.
No. Me and you listen to way too much true crime to ever venture in those waters. I'm like, nope. We don't need to
test this.
Exactly.
Okay. No, thanks. Not at all. Chloe opens the door to the rat lifts, and first thing she's like, where's your brother? I'm like, listen, ma'am. Listen. I don't need to hear about it.
Stop bringing it up, okay?
Yeah, stop talking about it. Okay, Saxon talks to Chelsea. This dialogue was so savage. Saxon's talking to Chelsea at the party, and he's like, do you think these guys know the only reason these women are with them is because they're rich? And she goes, that's going to be you in 30 years. It's
like savage, but also very true. So,
but like, yeah, bitch. Yeah. Like, what else who else would you be but these guys? Okay.
Right.
Buddy. She gets into why she loves Rick, and it's very toxic. Like, it's very much like, I'm going to save him. I'm going to fix him type of thing. But they're doing a sweet job of presenting the relationship. Like I said, Chelsea is the best part of Rick. Rick is a bad, awful guy. Like, he sucks. But because Chelsea loves him so much, it makes him somehow a lovable, because you want it for Chelsea.
Right.
You know,
you don't want this to be because I feel like her in this moment too, she immediately got offended by that, but she wouldn't show it because she always wants the upper hand with Saxon. But then she kind of looks around and she notices like, ugh, this is me right now. So, but I think she knows that like, no, something I have makes him a better person. So I'm not, it's not surface like the rest of these people. It's a little, at least a little deeper than that. Like he's doing therapy for me. So don't worry about us over here.
Totally. Meanwhile, the three women are at dinner while Fabian performs his song, which is in German, which is amazing. Absolutely incredible. But these women have it out. And I'm sorry, this dialogue is so specific. There is no way that this isn't about someone in Mike's life. Mike White was writing this like, I've had these conversations, and those women are like, oh, this is about us.
Right.
Wherever they may be. This is about us. So Lori wants to go to the Muay Thai thing, and Jacqueline's like, oh, I'm tired. And Lori goes, oh, yeah, I bet. And Jacqueline's like, why are you so bothered? And Lori's like, well, it makes me not trust you, to be honest. And then Jacqueline pulls that classic mean girl thing. Give me a break, like you're in love with Valentin or something. Stop. Oh, bitch, because you were pushing him on her, and you know it. You know you did that. Okay.
I was going to ask you where you came down on this, because I told Carrie Coon. What's her character's name?
Lori.
Okay, I feel like there are so many characters this season. I keep like forgetting. I keep getting people crushed up. But I was so on Lori's side. I'm like, ooh, we have all been there, where someone doing all that pretending, and then they wind up and they're with the person. You're like, oh, see, okay, I should have trusted my gut. I should have trusted my gut the whole time. And this probably isn't the first time either. It's probably, if we know these kind of dynamics, it's probably the millionth time she's done something like this too. So Lori now is at an age and at a point where she's just fed up by it. She don't want to deal with that mess anymore.
Oh, and she starts busting out other things because Kate chimes in. She's like, I agree, it's not that big of a deal. And Lori's like, oh, was it a big deal when she did the same thing with Dave? And then Jacqueline's like, what? That was 15 years ago, by the way. It was a 15 years ago situation. But Lori's like, yeah, at my wedding, you were all over Dave. And then looks at Kate and goes, I'm sure you remember. And then Kate goes, wait, what? And they just keep going. They don't address it. They don't give it to her. Stuff it. You just be quiet. All right.
Right.
And then Jacqueline, another real classic, like mean girl, whatever. It could be spot on. Who knows? But she goes, what's really going on with you? If you're not happy with your life, just own it. Fucking change it. And then Kate chimes in and she's like, I mean, I get what she's saying. You know, you're not upset because of Valentin. And the way Carrie Coon does it, she goes, oh, yeah, I'm upset because of Jacqueline. And like, I was like, oh, her line delivery is unparalleled.
You know, I love her.
Oh, no, she's so good. And so they give her shit, whatever. But it ends with Lori going, you know what? Fuck you both. You're always fake and fronting like your life is perfect, and you're vain and selfish. So I'm out. Enjoy your night. I'm like, yes, bitch.
There you go.
I'm on your side. You're about to go screw up royally, but I'm on your side.
We love bad decisions on vacation. It's okay. Those are our favorite kind. So we'll support it.
For real. They're at that party, and Victoria has this moment with one of the party guests. It's incredible. It's very much like a housewife. It's like when Vicky Gunvalson was telling the sushi girl to get a job or go to college or whatever, and you can work in insurance. And so like, she's like, why are you with this middle-aged weirdo? I could get you out of this. Oh, man.
She's like actively in danger right now. I love that.
Too good. But Gary keeps doing all this stuff with Belinda in the creepiest ways. Like he walks up to her when she's by herself and it's like, can we go talk? And I'm like, you know, if you really were just going to offer her some money, you didn't need to do it like this. Okay. And why can't her son be there? Okay. When you said she couldn't bring her son, I was like, why? What is this about? You're going to die. I'm like, you're going to die. I was sure she was about to die.
Right.
But then he offers her money. And for some reason, that was even more sinister. I was like, oh, wait.
Right. Because that's basically confirmation, right? It's like, okay, yeah, you did. I mean, we know. But like, to me, if I was Belinda, it's like, okay, you offer me money to be quiet. No. That goes to show that I need to leave this party immediately. And also, 100K is kind of an insult, right? Like, is that all you're offering me right now? You got all that money from her. You offer me 100K to keep quiet? No.
That's also why I thought it was kind of, I'm like, 100K, that's kind of like nothing.
Cheapo. I wonder though, see, it also kind of made me think, I'm like, I wonder if he spent up a lot of this money, like doing all this.
Look at that house.
Exactly. Bought that house, constantly trying to impress Chloe and the young girls and all this stuff. I wonder how much he has to actually spare. Maybe not that
Exactly.
much.
Because I was like, 100,000 seems low to
Right.
shut someone up.
Right.
But okay. So Walton is giving us acting in the scene with Jim, where he's doing so much and it's so intense and it's great. But then they keep cutting. I appreciated the comedic cutaways to Frank and Cetala watching one of her old performances.
One for
And
actual performances too. I love
exactly.
that.
He goes, it's like MC Hammer and Peter Pan. It's got a little Pippin. I have laughed at that fucking line for so long, all week. I'm like, I swear that was all Sam. Like, I swear Sam was watching it and he came up with that because it's
Right.
so good and so specific. But when he said a little Pippin, I died.
I feel like there are certain actors that you get a hold to. Like I feel like White Mike.
Oh, that was
White.
amazing.
I
Let's
know.
call him that.
I feel like he probably gets these actors. He's like, you know what? I didn't think I'd actually land this person. I need to write them a bigger role, first of all. I didn't think I'd land this person. I need to let them improvise whenever they want to because they're an improv genius. I feel like there are certain actors like that where you just like, some require, like, I'm sure a lot of the younger cast, you need to direct them as much as possible. But I'm like Piper, I mean, they're showing up on set and it's like, okay, just go. Do whatever you want to. I trust you. Walter Goggins, you got it. Like, y'all do your thing. Carrie Coon, like all of y'all do it, and I'm a trust wherever you go. And he's letting them make probably whatever decision they want to, and it's working. It's working.
A little Pippin. God, that was such a good line. Such a good line. And she goes, it's the folk music and the rap music. And he goes, oh. So good. But I think what was so cool about this scene with Jim and Rick is, what was his plan exactly? Like, here you are. Are you really going to kill this guy? Are you really going to like shoot him or something? And so the way he like has the gun to his head, but then he like takes it away and then he starts like lunging towards him a few times. Doesn't know what to do. And then he flips him back in the chair. It's like, yeah, because this was such a stupid plan. Like,
yeah,
it's like it was, because what is he going to do? Kill him? Is he going to shoot him in the head right now? Right. You know, like, you can't do that. So it was good. It was like clunky and weird and like totally half-assed. And I thought it was a good choice. A very good choice to do that. Okay, so now we're at the fight. Carrie Coon shows up as soon as the Russian friends joined up with them again, and the one guy was like, "Hey, Lori," I was like, "Oh, this is something. This is like, they are a mark for these guys." Like,
right.
When I rewatched it where they wanted to get Valentine, like, send us to somewhere cool, whatever, and then he sends them to that hotel that she's like, "Why'd you send us there? Take us to have fun," and he drops them in like the city so they can be like nearly killed by water guns.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to go meet up with I'm going to go get my friends together. I swear he went and said, I've got these 3 Americans. They seem rich. Like, let's come do our thing, whatever. And so this has been like, and then, you know, when they're all drunk at the pool back at their villa and she's doing that thing where she's like, "Oh, I'm a great lawyer. They know I'm a good lawyer. I have to pay palimony," and doing all that. They like say something to each other and they laugh. And she's like, "Oh, ha ha." And they're like, No, we're saying you need a real man." And I'm like, "No, you guys probably were like, this is going to be so easy."
Exactly. This is going to be the one. I think that her being in that bed with him was not supposed to end that way. That woman was not supposed to come knocking on that door. And she was a wrench in the plan. Because did you not? I mean, we'll get there obviously, but like, did you not think that like when she was walking on that street, she had jumped out of the window and that car was coming? I was like, oh, this is it. We get the finale early. It's over. This is it, people. Like, it's happening. You know me and cars on TV. I don't trust them ever.
In an alley
Exactly.
like that? Don't
Didn't
like
trust
it. Thought the same thing.
I don't even like when they're in the car, like people driving, and they keep showing like that shot of like from the side. I'm like, oh, they're about to get hit. Oh, they're about to get hit. What's happening? Oh, they're about to get hit. And when it doesn't happen, I'm like, oh, okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about too.
I hate it so much. I hate it so
much. Chloe, then back at the house party, she pitches Saxon on the whole plan of playing out Gary's alleged fantasy. And I can't tell is Chelsea really buying this, or is she just being messy?
Right. Probably both. Probably
because
both.
because the story is so obscure. His parents would have loud sex with the door open, and he would watch.
Mm.
I just don't. That part, I'm like, you what now? Okay, why do you watch? In general, you would just not watch that. You would never go near it because
Right. I
um,
wonder though if I wonder what age, because probably curiosity got the best of him, because he's probably learning, bodies changing. He's like, wait, what are y'all doing in there? What is that?
I
Why does
don't
that
even know
make
if
me
it's
feel
real.
away?
I don't know if I believe
Right,
it's even real.
exactly.
It's like, what was she trying to lure Saxon to do? Was he going to kill Saxon then? Like, I
Oh,
can't understand it.
in my mind, this is so stupid. In my mind, I felt like she was jabbing at him a bit, but I felt like it was real too, because the whole thing of like him watching his parents, I think because of stuff with him and Lachlan happened the night before, I think they were supposed to like get some kind of reaction out of him, like, and what kind of reaction I don't know, but I felt like, I'm like, okay, this is a lot of word, a lot of zest, so I don't know what's happening right now on this show, so I don't know.
Huh. Okay, so when Saxon's like, no, I'm not going to do that. She explains it. She's like, no, it would be like he's winning his mother back from his father. And then Chelsea goes, like a little boy's dream. And I'm like, are you buying this, Chelsea? Like, what's really happening? But then it was so,
Right.
because then she goes, come on, I really want this relationship to work. Please help. I'm like, okay, girl. No, you
Oh,
don't, because
God.
you just like finagled a boat ride without him and had sex with brothers. So let's
Exactly.
chill out. And then Saxon goes, I'm not that kind of guy. And Chelsea goes, yeah, you are. He's like, you fucking all right. All right.
Right.
Okay, the women. This is just amazing acting from Michelle. Like, truly, she's doing a great
Mhm.
job as this character, I tell you. Because Kate's trying to text Lori and Lori's not getting back to her. And Jacqueline's like, oh well. And then Kate kind of gives her a look and Jacqueline's like, what? And she's like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel bad, but I guess you don't. And Jacqueline's like, oh, you don't know my situation, okay? What does that have to do with anything?
Right.
And
What
Kate goes, I'm not
situation?
judging you. I actually was defending you at dinner. And then Jacqueline says, it's such a Jacqueline thing to say. She goes, whatever, it's fine. I'll be the bad guy. I'm used to it.
Oh God.
Such a Jacqueline
The
thing to say.
Jax Taylor of it all. Like, good God.
I'll be the bad guy. I guess I'll just be the Jax Taylor of it all.
God, I'll be your
That was a
villain.
solid
Okay.
comparison. Super solid comparison. Now I have a question for you to see if like how you took this scene.
Okay.
The scene where Chelsea and Saxon are walking back to their villas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I could be spiritual, just teach me or whatever. And so she does this little like meditation lesson, which he then quickly turns into a chance to like hit on her because he like starts to touch her. Does she feel something here? And that's why she's like, oh, get out. Or am I misreading that?
Oh, I thought it was another way of her like playing him. I don't know though. That's a good point, because I think in her mind, she fully expected him to think they were about to have sex. And it was like another way to blue ball him in a way. Like another way to just like,
Oh.
nope, now I'm gone. Bye. See ya. You're fully bricked up.
Oh, that's a different take. Okay, because it seemed like she was like, oh, okay. Now that I'm looking at it that way, that's different. It seemed like what she felt was like, oh my God, I actually feel something. And then she's like, okay, get on out. Please get out. I have to call Rick. But interesting, that could have just gone both ways. Okay.
But
So
she might have, it might too, third way, it might have been like just some kind of revelation she had about her and Rick, instead of like, maybe Saxon doesn't have anything to do with this. He's just
Okay.
there at the time. So she's like, God,
Okay,
I
that's
really do want this to, especially after the party where it's like old guy, young girl, like all the way around. Maybe she's thinking like, wait a minute, this is something real. Let me try to get in contact with him, who's out there doing God knows what right now. And we saw
I
what
like
he
that.
was doing. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Victoria is praying before bed, and this line is insane. Maybe Jesus can save her from those Buddhists. Fucking hell. That's a line. That is a line if I ever heard a line.
Good
Piper,
God.
I knew Victoria knew, and I was like, she knew her daughter, and when she said, you can sleep here, and if you sleep here and you still want to stay, I will support it. And so cut to Piper. First, she checks in with Locke and she's like, so how do you like it? And he's like, I want to stay forever. I never want to go back home. And she's like, oh shit. I was kind of hoping you say you hated it because I hate it.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you. So I feel like we all saw this scene differently because I saw it a different way. And then when I posted about it on Threads, everybody else saw it a different way too. When I saw it, like the energy with Lachlan, I was like, ugh. So is it just like any sibling he's okay with, or like what? Like it felt like I got like a sexual energy there where he was like, I'll stay with you, like all that kind of stuff. And it felt like, because it felt like she got immediately like creeped out by him a little bit and tried to like move it along. But then other people, when they watched this, they were like, no, she wants her own thing. And the brother is just like a little tag along for everybody in life. And he's constantly trying to like, basically like co-opt other people's experiences with everything. And so, you know, he's working out. Exactly.
True.
And so I'm like,
what made me go to she hates it was because one of the last shots of her is they show a pipe leaking and then they show cobwebs on the ceiling. And then they cut to her in the bed. I'm like, because at first I didn't know what the energy was in that scene, in that moment, because she is so weird. She's like, okay, I was just coming to check on you. And then she leaves. I'm like, But then when they cut back to her again, it's like leaky pipe, cobwebs, dirty. And it's like, I don't want to be here. Because like the food was gross. Remember, like they were eating the food earlier and he had to like force feed himself because it was so disgusting. I feel like she's like, yeah, maybe this, because she's just as vapid as the rest of them, just because she wants to be above it and be like, oh my God, I love meditating and praying and all that. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
We see it all the time. We always, especially in TV, we see that trope all the time of the one kid that's like, no, I'm so above this. We need to do better in the world. We need to be better global citizens and all like this. But then you'll see like, it's easy for them to say that because they're still benefiting in the same way the family is. So like, yeah, you want to be, you know, you want to help the homeless and stuff like that because all your meals are spoon fed to you with a golden spoon and you don't have to cook anything and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, now if you take all that away, are you still okay with going down here and, you know, and helping us commoners out, or do you want to go back on your pedestal? Which one? And it's normally 9 times out of 10 not helping us. So that's what it feels like with her, especially now she's so young too. It's not like she's like been through like years and years of like experience. No, she's right out of college.
Exactly.
You don't know who you are. So like, yeah, this is all a big awakening for her.
Okay, Lori with the Russian. I mean, immediately I feared for her life because he wastes no time with his bullshit like tourist story that he tells every white woman that he tries to scam about how he's like, it was very weird. He starts by saying he wants to visit her. He's like, I want to visit you in New York. And then very quick to, but I've overstayed my visa and I need to go back home to get my mother, but I can't. Okay. She's sick and old. I need $10,000 to pay off her debt and get her a plane ticket.
Sound like mama gonna be suffering. I don't know what to tell you.
Thank God that girlfriend of his showed up because I think he would have like held her captive until she wired the money to him.
Right.
I was like, he is about to be like, I'm going to hold a gun to your head and send me $10,000 or something. So thank God girlfriend showed up. And so she could run out of there.
Exactly.
I was really scared.
I mean, she still might. You never know. Listen, he got access to the thing. So we don't know how this finale. I'm so excited for this finale. We don't know how it's going to shake out, but boy, oh boy.
Yeah, and now that Guy Talk has figured out that Valentine is like in on this whole scam. I'm like, that who knows what they're capable of. The last shot of it is Rick and Frank like doing it up. Is Frank smoking crack? Like, was that what was happening?
I didn't know. You know me and drugs. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening right now?
I was like, Kendrick. I know that. I'm like that scared Kendrick. I know that scared Kendrick. He was like,
I don't want to be involved. No,
I'm out.
It almost made me not want to go to Thailand anymore. I was like, nope, I don't even want to go there. They've got drugs there too. Nope, I don't want to go. I'm good.
I knew that was like that just traumatized Kendrick. I know that did.
Nope, I'm good. And then hearing Victoria, she was doing an interview somewhere, and she was talking about how hot it was. Did you see when she talking about how hot it was?
She had to have ice bags on her body.
I was like, I would genuinely pass out. Me and heat, I'm just now getting acclimated to like being able to do beaches when people want to. I'm like, okay, fine, let's go to the beach. Okay, I'll bring a towel. Like, okay, whatever. But like, even that kind of heat is too much for me. But like, I couldn't imagine. So Thailand, give me a few more pounds and a few more years, and maybe my 40th birthday or something, I'll be able to come there. But right now, it's a no for me.
Yeah,
y'all got a few years to get rid of the drugs.
The drugs, yes. Don't worry, they'll get rid of all of them.
Perfect.
My friend went to Thailand a couple years ago, and she loves the heat. Like, she's someone who, when it's 100 degrees out, she likes it. Oh, and so she was into it, but even she was like, you know me, I love heat. It was hot even for me.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I wonder when's a good month to go, because like you have to really research for those that don't travel, like you really have to research. Like even me, like when we do like cruises and stuff, we have to research like, okay, what is that area like during this time? Because it might be wonderful in the United States, it might be hurricane season somewhere else. So you really got to check this kind of stuff out. So that I'm gonna figure it out. No,
but I really did love the visual of her with ice bags, with Parker Posey just surrounding herself with ice bags. I'm like, I fully get, because like that would have been me. Fan in the hand, ice bags all over me.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, wait. Ashley Adams in the comments said what it was. Oh boy. I don't want to say it out loud, but
it was the M word. It was the M word, everybody.
At
least I wasn't smoking crystal meth in the bathroom all night long.
What a line.
All right, we did a long one today, per usual. Okay, guys, thank you so much to everybody in the chat. You guys have been badass. Thank you so much. Love you. Oh my God, my fan's not opening. Love you guys. We will see you next week. Bye.
Watch the finale tonight.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show.
And make sure you're subscribed to and following the I Cannot with Kendrick Tucker podcast and with Kendrick Tucker on Instagram and Threads.
She's Speaking with Emily Hanks is available everywhere you get your podcasts, on YouTube, and also exclusive bonus content is available on the Patreon. If you want to support our shows, please rate and review on whatever platform you listen, or you can buy us a coffee. Links for everything will be in the description.
Love you all. See you next Sunday.